That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Good morning, freedom fighters. Got ourselves a Wednesday. We good? I wanted to have some celebratory beer there.
What are you plugging in over there, Vic?
My headphones. None of your business what I'm plugging in, okay? I'll plug in what I want to plug in. And Kenny's back.
Yes, I am, and I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice to get away, and we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But yeah, I got to get back in the mix, man.
I'll tell you what.
I was jonesing.
It's so funny that, first of all, the guys did a great job, right?
Oh,
Quentin
yeah, absolutely.
And Jerome did a great job. But this show's already different. It's already different. Two minutes in. And the thing I wanted to do was say, hey, everybody, look who's back. Ken Williams, back from a week vacation, which I did not sign off on, by the way. No more of that crap, okay?
All right.
More vacations and family and all that crap.
Right,
All right, coming up in just a second, Mark Schmitz in studio, dad of Jared Schmitz. Of course, we know that whole story. Ken, a world-famous Ken Williams monologue at 9:25. When Ken's away, I know what it's like to be away and not be near a microphone to talk about certain stuff,
Yeah.
And a lot of certain stuff happened while you were gone. So I said to Ken, I said, hey, you want to do a monologue? He was like, yeah, let's do a monologue. So that's at 9:25. Mark Mostert from Able Americans. We talked to somebody else from Able Americans not too long ago, but there's lots of stuff going on in D.C. concerning that organization. Speaker Tim Jones at 10:05. Mark Harder. Man, Dennis Hancock, they took him off the county council. Some judge said, okay, we'll take him off because he hired his stepdaughter to be administrative assistant. And then another judge said, no, you can't do that. So as of right now, Dennis Hancock is still on the St. Louis County Council. Our friend Mark Harder on the council will talk to us about that. All right, our first guest is Mark Schmitz here in studio, drove all the way from Wentzville. Mark, every morning we start the show with the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you mind leading us in the pledge this morning?
Sure.
Go right ahead. Got to get up.
Of course I do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That one's going into the Super Vault. Put that one in the Super Vault.
You got it.
Mark, thank you so much for coming in. Your son, Jared, died at the Abbey gate at the Kabul airport. And I told you this briefly before we got on. As that whole situation unfolded, Ken, do you remember that thing unfolded while we were on the air?
Yeah.
And, we had a completely different show planned, but then that happened and we talked about it. And then we found out, oh my God, a local kid was one of the Marines. So thank you, for your son's service. I mean, I don't know how you say that officially, but you know what I'm trying to say to you, right?
Absolutely. Jared would do this all over again. And I think even knowing the outcome, that was one thing that really set my mind at ease. One of his higher ups had come up to me at his funeral and he says, Mark, you got to ask yourself, if someone gave him a 60-second window of what was about to happen, would he want to be somewhere else? And I said, honestly, I don't think so, because that's one very special thing about Marines, because they know if I said yes, I need to be somewhere else, somebody else is going to take that hit, and he would never.
You don't do that to each other.
No,
yeah,
he would never allow that to happen.
I don't want to make this too political, but there was a debate with Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and Joe Biden had the nerve to say, no service people were lost under my watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, really, you forgot about the 13, really, the Freedom 13? How more dishonorable could you act?
I actually had to stop. We have Apple TV, so I'm able to rewind, and I literally rewound that. I think
Make sure you heard it right.
5 or 6 times. Yeah, I'm like, did he seriously just say that? I'm like yelling, telling my wife, "Get in here! You've got to see this." And I mean, I know he's been trying to distance himself from all of this from the very beginning. This is the one of the biggest hits that his political career ever took, and he never recovered from it. I don't think he's ever been above 50% approval.
Yeah,
after this happened,
and he's never mentioned it. He's never mentioned it.
When I watched, I think I watched the delivery of their bodies from the plane when they originally came back to the United States, and Joe Biden, I think we saw it live where he looked down at his watch. That had to be shocking to you.
I was standing right there on the tarmac, and I saw it for the first 4 steel cases coming off, and I leaned into my my ex-wife's ear, Jared's mother, and I said, "I swear to effing God, if this happens one more time, I'm running across the tarmac and showing him my watch and screaming in his face that it's 2:30, you know." And I'm like, I could not believe. I mean, the first one, maybe the second or third, fine, you know, it's just maybe a habitual thing that he does, but over and over and over, I mean, it's just the most insulting thing to witness. It's like, where in the hell do you have to be right now that would be more important than this? But then, you know, fast forward, and now you've got the media, Jen Psaki in particular, trying to cover all this up, saying, "Oh, it never happened." And I'm like, who the hell do you think you are?
Happened. Right.
You know, it was a weird layout too, because the media was on the other side of this big transport bus. So there was privacy. So there's a media on the left side, a big bus, and then us on the right side of that bus. They could hear us. I don't know that anybody picked that up, but it wouldn't have taken much for them to see us go running across the tarmac. Well, when I was looking like I was about to do that, my CACO officer kind of puts his hand on my shoulder. He goes, "Don't even think about it." Kind of points upward and back. And there, of course, there's Secret Service snipers in the towers. I mean, I wasn't going to hit the guy, but I just certainly wanted to make sure he knew what time it was, because obviously that was more important to him.
You know what pisses me off? One of many things that pisses me off about Joe Biden is at the end of an official speech, he'll always say, "And God protect our troops."
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't you protect our troops? That's your job to protect the troops.
Right.
I mean, that must just get to you.
Very much so. And now it's like salt in the wound, listening to Kamala Circus over there talking about that, you know, that she's for the troops and for the military. It's like, you're as big a part of this as Biden was. I mean, you want to tout that you were the last person in the room. Well, you're going to go down with the ship.
I was just going to say, you know, the video circulating right now around, you know, the internet is Dana Bash interviewing her and saying, "Were you the last person in the room?" She says, "Yeah." "So you're comfortable?" And she says, "I am."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wow, you're comfortable with the death of 13 service people because of stupid decisions, leaving the equipment there?" I mean, all that work that being the father of a Marine. And yet, wait, we left all that equipment there? Really? What did you think about that?
Well, we were all told that it was destroyed, and most of it was rendered useless until this little parade comes out.
Right.
You know, it's the after fact videos that seem to surface at just the right time to prove that yet again we've been lied to.
Did Joe Biden ever call you? Did Kamala Harris ever call you?
No.
No, really.
No.
First of all, this would have never happened under Donald Trump. But if Donald Trump were president, do you think he would have called you?
Oh, absolutely. I think that as difficult as that call would have been for him to make, I'm positive he would have done that.
Well, let's go back to that moment. If Donald, they're saying Donald Trump would have done the same thing. That would have been the same times, I guess the same amount of time that it took to get them out of there. Joe Biden rushed it. Donald Trump, and everything I've read, said, yes, we were going to have an exit strategy, but it was on our terms, on our time, and we weren't going to telegraph it to anyone. And we would have people representing the United States, military people, to make sure that they were going to stay there at Bagram, apparently.
Yes.
And they were going to make sure that our equipment and the people that were there were safe.
Compared to HKIA, Bagram was a fortress, you know, and that strategically, militarily, that made more sense to keep that location for defense purposes. Much more easy to defend that location than being in an urban environment with literally chain link fence for your defense walls. I mean, it was unheard of. since all this has happened, 7 of the families, myself included, we've formed a coalition and have been the ones fighting since day one to get answers. And we have been connected very well with some really top-notch inside people up there in DC. And so we're finding out more and more information, but the more we find out, we were lied to too. So I don't understand it. It's what's done's done. And obviously our kids aren't coming back. Our mission now is we want to make sure this never happens again to another family. And that starts at the top. We need top-notch leadership. And then from under that leadership, meaning the president and his advisors, all the way down to the generals. I've often mentioned in other interviews, General Schwarzkopf. When I was growing up, that guy was a badass.
Stormin' Norman.
Yep. I cannot fathom for a second that he would have stood by and let this happen. I would have thought he would have, I could just see him slamming his stars on the table saying, hell no, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And walking out. You got Millie and McKenzie, okay. And I mean, granted, they tried talking him out of it. He ignored them, but you stayed in the game and, instead of walking out on him.
I want, we're running out of time here, and I want to make sure we get to the event that you're doing, but I agree with you so much so that I think General Mark Milley is a Chinese asset. I really do. For some of the things that he did, called the counterpart. Oh, if Trump attacks you, the balloon that went over the thing, over the country. I don't like him. I don't like his face. That's a good kind of, how good does that work out?
It works out 100% of the time so far.
It's crazy. It's a stupid Jersey thing. If I see you and I don't like your face, I'm probably, I'm a good judge of character in that way.
Sure.
All right. So your inaugural Angels of Abbey Gate Memorial Ride is coming up. Tell us about that. How can people get involved? How can people help?
So this is open to anyone with a motorcycle, a car, a truck, anything street legal. $10 entry fee for the driver, $5 for their passengers. Kids are free, 12 and under. This thing is shaping up to be massive. I mean, I think right now we're on target for probably 700 bikes, which with you throw the cars and trucks into it, you're probably pushing almost 1,000 vehicles. So this is going to be a sight to see. We've got the big 18-wheeler coming in town with the wrap job with all 13 of them on there. That is a sight to see. We recently got our pickup, the Freedom 13 pickup, as well as a trailer wrapped with all 13 as well. They can sign up online. Pre-registration is open. You can pick up a t-shirt cheaper online when you do a pre-registration. Those are $20, $30 the day of. We've got 3 different designs. The nice thing is we're starting, ironically, at Gold Star Harley Davidson down in Festus. Tim Serdike was nice enough he's a Gold Star father as well, and nice enough to let us start at that location. They've got free breakfast while supplies last. We'll be leaving there, headed up 55 to 270 up to St. Charles Harley Davidson. Right. And then there's free lunch there while supplies last and live music. From there, we will leave and go to the final stop, which is in Truesdale, just west of Wentzville. Good Game Sports Park. It's that's where our second event, because this is actually 2 events in one day. That's where our second event starts. We'll have another live band out there. I believe Mark Perkins is playing. But that second event is the one I think it's going to be. The first one's more patriotic and that feel good
ceremonial.
Yeah. The second one is going to be the fun part.
Yeah.
It's called Joe's versus Pros.
What's that?
The concept is you bring a bunch of Joe citizens, regular Joes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And they're going to do battle against veterans and first responders in a paintball shootout.
All right. Oh,
I
my
love
God.
that. I love that.
Those guys are going to be covered in paint.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The citizens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I just say a quick thing about bikers? They're always helping out. They're always doing things for people. Really I always tell the story about it was a Saturday morning early. I was going down Manchester Road and I see a bunch of bikes in a parking lot in a strip mall. I said, these guys are up to something. I'm going to find out right now. So I pulled in and this guy came up to my window. I rolled down the window. I said, who are you guys helping today? And he goes, oh, bikers for babies. Like they're always doing something like that, And Ken, there was was he a soldier? I don't remember. I think he was a veteran. The guy they were going to bury at Revis Barracks, and he had no family.
He had no family. Nobody knew. There was a funeral home that actually took care of things for him.
And they called us and said, this guy's got nobody. So can you go and represent for him?
I heard about that.
Oh my God. The bikers came out like crazy for that. So they're good guys, and they always do the right thing.
And they did for Jared too.
Oh yeah, it was massive. I think it was over 1,100. I do want to also add that the VFW veteran service officers are going to be on the ground as well. So any veterans that need assistance with their VA benefits, etc., will be there to answer questions and help them out too.
Yeah.
And what's the date again?
The date is going to be Saturday, September 7th.
Okay.
Yep. And they can get information off our website, thefreedom13.org.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I just hope that somebody gets some video of this from Festus all the way out.
We definitely will. And I think the news is going to cover some of it. And one thing that I forgot to mention, this just came into play last night. We all know about the 21 gun salute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, ironically, for this event, we are going to have a 21 gun raffle. So we're actually going to have 21 firearms, 1,000 tickets maximum will be sold. And there's going to be 21 winners.
That's awesome.
21 guns going out. So
Freedom 13, Abbey Gate, 3 years ago, Wednesday, I think was the anniversary of the day. Mark, I cannot thank you enough for coming in. I always say to people on the air and off, I don't know how these guys find the courage. I don't know how they're so brave. I could never do it. You got to be a special person, especially to be a Marine.
That's very true. And I think, for me personally, I never served. I was a college student straight to the professional world, but my son gives me the strength. And after losing him, you're faced with, do I stick my head in the sand and sit around depressed the rest of my life or do something about it? And so that's why he decided to turn a tragedy into a positive and try to help his brothers and sisters. Because I think he'd want to kick my ass if I didn't do something for him. So I can't ever match the proud level that he's given to me. But I'll do my damnedest to get as close as I can.
And I know you think about him every day, and we'll talk to you again, I'm sure. But what's one thing that you want to leave us with that you maybe would want to say to pass on that Jared, a characteristic about Jared that you love so much?
He cared about everyone. He would stop whatever he was doing. Didn't matter if he knew you or not. He never had an enemy, but he would stop what he was doing to help somebody out. So if you see somebody that's, needing help with their air and their tires, or some little old lady trying to pump gas that doesn't know what she's doing, help them out. It doesn't take much effort to be a good American citizen and to help your neighbor out. And that's what Jared would do.
I do mine in the supermarket. I look for the ladies who can't reach the top shelf. Honey, let me get that for you. Okay, thanks. All right, Mark, thank you for coming in, and we'll talk more about this event as we get closer to it. Okay.
Sure. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mark.
Schmitz. My God. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you guys who serve and fight. I don't know how you do it. I'll never know how you do it. All right, coming up next, a world famous Ken Williams monologue. He's back, everybody, on 101.9 and 94.1. News Talk STL, number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter.
Woosh.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show.
Over $1.3 billion. Trump just talks the talk. We walk the walk.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
This is so stupid.
St. Louis's
Okay, I'm hanging up on you now.
place to talk. News Talk STL.
Is your retirement income at risk if you or your spouse needs nursing home or in-home care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL 1019. The cost of long-term care is one of the biggest risks in retirement planning. For many retirees, a single nursing home stay can cause a significant reduction in assets that can permanently reduce your retirement income. Fortunately, there are affordable and flexible options available today that can help you manage the cost of long-term care. Our team can help you address the risks relevant to your retirement, including long-term care. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Man, what a great party you're throwing here. This wasp nest is great.
Yeah, man, we got about 70 wasps in here.
Too bad we can't fit any more wasps in here. It looks like they're having fun outside, stinging all the kids. Oh, man, who just pulled up?
Oh, no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They seem to kill every one of my parties.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
I don't know where I would get the truth if it weren't for you.
Live and local.
Welcome to the People's Republic of America stand.
Here comes another roller coaster, another circus.
This is News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
You're funny. But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you. I make you laugh. What do you mean funny?
On News Talk STL.
You know what, Ken?
Yeah, Vic.
When you're watching the news, especially in the last few days, the anniversary of the Abbey Gate disaster, and they put all of the 13 service people's picture up there, and the picture of Jared, I mean, clearly was a badass. You know?
Yeah.
You could just tell by just his picture. He just looks like a badass.
Right.
So great to have Mark in. And by the way, they also have another fund to help out Gold Star families. You know, the Tunnel to Towers, they do $11 a month to help out soldiers and first responders. Theirs is $13 a month for the Freedom 13 fund. So freedom13.org is how you find it. And trust me.
Freedom13.org.
Oh, is it?
It is.
The freedom13.org. But we'll talk about this all week until the 7th because you know I can't wait to see the video of all these bikes.
I know it's gonna be awesome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, he's back from vacation. Every time Ken goes away, he can't fully disengage, right? You can't unplug. You don't have the capacity to do that.
It's hardwired, man.
So I texted Ken and I said, hey, you up for a monologue? And he said, yep, I am. So ladies and gentlemen, the great Ken Williams.
Yeah, Vic, it's not going to be so, much of a downplay of everything. It's going to be kind of a uplifting type of feeling that I had. We went out to pick up my daughter at Mammoth Cave, by the way, and she did her tour there. And so she's moving on, so we want to help her. So we picked up her stuff and then she moved on without us. But we took a detour to Chattanooga. We saw some sights, we visited the Chattanooga Choo Choo. That's the inspiration for that song that I'm sure you know of.
Pardon me, boys.
Yeah, there you go. And then we did the Chattanooga Incline, which I posted a video on the Facebook page for News Talk STL. And then we went to Rock City, which is a cool place. There's a bunch of artists that do their versions of fairy tales in this big open area. It's just so cool. You need to visit these places. Chattanooga's a little left-leaning, but it's very eclectic and it's very interesting. So we went to a place called the Falls. The falls are just what it says. It's waterfalls. You walk through hiking paths and you go to the falls. We met a couple there, Vic. They're from New York and they moved to Tennessee. And you know me, I talk to everybody just like you do.
Mm-hmm.
And Caddy laughs at it. And so she kind of enjoys it in a certain way. So we're talking to them and they told us they were Democrats, but they hated to see what was happening to New York and the rest of the country. They really did. They hated it. So they said they felt like, this is not the America that they used to live in. And I asked them specifically what was bothering them most about the things happening. And they told me the illegal immigration problem, which of course, I mean, we've seen it in New York and it's just depressing to see what they're doing. And not only that, but the Biden-Harris administration right now are giving them up to $150,000 for homes. I mean, they're going all out. Credit cards, things that they should have been doing for people, Americans in this country, before all this illegal immigration problem happened. And I asked them if they would consider voting for Trump this time around, because they told me, they said, well, we voted for Hillary in 2016. We voted for Biden in 2020. We did. And that's just the way we did it, because we are Democrats. But they're going to vote for Trump in 2024. And it shocked me, actually. Another couple overheard us talking about it, and they joined the little conversation we were having. Now, these two were MAGA, right?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it was fun. If you can picture it, it's a hiking path, but there are benches everywhere. And it's kind of like almost in a circle. So we're kind of having like a little town hall there. You know, it was fun. Other people, and including a woman who's a Democrat, walked up, and they were just standing there, and we were talking. And I was just asking questions. You know, at one point, a woman supporter said, no matter what happens, we have the facts on our side. That was what really struck me. Whether we're talking about Kamala Chameleon, completely lying about her past policies, and now the DNC, they're trying to reinvent her, completely changing her persona, or Joe's constant lies about Trump. He does it all the time. We have the facts and truth on our side, Vic. That's what I want people to understand. When I'm standing there, I'm watching these people. These are Democrats, right? But they're saying, the one woman said, I don't know if I'll be voting for Trump, but I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. This is a Democrat. Yeah. So we need to understand that there are a lot more things at play here. I know people get anxious about this whole upcoming election. I get anxious about it, Vic. I was on vacation and I was anxious about it. Yeah. But we have to also put things into context. And I've talked to you about this before. I believe that there's going to be a swath of people around this country that are going to go into that booth saying, yeah, I hate Trump. I can't stand Trump. Walk in there in the booth, vote for Trump because they want to vote for their pocketbook. They want to vote for closed borders. They want to vote for safe and easy ways to get homes and be in those homes safely. And internationally, they don't want to face a war anymore. The wars are going to continue with this administration. It's not Kamala Harris. It's Barack Obama. It's been going on for 16 years. Okay. So people need to understand that there are other things at play here. Okay. And they include the black population, the Hispanic population. They're not just going to be voting Democrat. So when you get all anxious and everything in the future and you want to talk to somebody about it, tell them the truth and the facts. They're on our side. We are going to win this because we have that on our side.
Wow. That's Ken Williams, everybody. I knew you'd have something cool to say. I knew it, you know?
It was fun. It was fun talking to these people. I mean, there were more. I was like, well, Caddy kept looking at me going, well, I thought we were going to go, you know, look at some waterfalls. And we eventually did. But yeah. It was fun, though.
That's
it was
great.
Really
and I'm glad you struck up the conversation because, you know, and I just want to say that you've said that for 3 years, that people, I hate Trump. And they go and they secretly vote for Trump.
Right. I believe that.
Which I think happened in 2016. I think it happened in 2020. And, you know, I think that what the happenings, I guess we'll talk about it in a little bit, in the last few days with Mark Zuckerberg saying that, oh my God, yes, the Biden administration said, don't do this, don't do that. And that swung the election. So I think people, even in 2020, did what you said. I hate Trump, but they went in and voted for him. But the election was rigged. And I think we are more justified now than ever to say that the election was rigged.
And that's why I say the truth is on our side, because you've got like the media. They completely misinform everybody every time. You brought up Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, he admitted this stuff. Now, why did he admit it now, Vic? Why do you think he did?
He's up to something. I mean, I don't think.
You know what I believe? I believe that he's admitting it right now because he thinks there's a really good possibility that Donald J. Trump is going to be our next president.
Yeah.
And he's kind of worried about things coming out without him. He wants to get ahead of the truth, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing about this whole thing. When I'm saying feel good about it, also be vigilant and really get 10 people out to vote. We've got to win this thing. We still got to fight, but feel good about it.
We have to be too big to rig.
Too big to rig, exactly.
All right, we don't have time for chat box, so we'll do that at 10:25, I promise. But I've come up with a little theory and a little plan and a little outline or guideline to refer to Donald Trump. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Watching people talk, the never Trumpers,
Yeah.
God, this city was filled. God, it was such a fog of never Trumper when I walked in yesterday. People who don't like him at all, hate him, just call him Trump. They just say Trump.
Yeah.
People who don't like him, but not quite as fiercely never Trumper, just say Donald Trump. People who want to be snide about it say Mr. Trump. They won't say president. A lot of people who just try to be accurate, especially people in the media, say former President Trump. And I want us to always refer to him as President Trump, not former President Trump, not Donald Trump, President Trump. You know who does that? Dan Bongino. Every time he references Trump, he says President Trump.
Right.
And Tyrus on the Greg Gutfeld show. If he's ever talking about him, he always says President Trump. Always.
I think it's a great analysis, and that's your whole. I think that's part of your poker investigative. The way you do things with poker, you investigate and you reveal tells in people, and I think that's kind of a part of it. Vic.
It totally is. I had this theory with Clinton. I thought that people that didn't like him called him Clinton, and people that did called him Clinton.
Mm. Yeah.
You got to watch. People are so sneaky. But even if you want to do the 45 and 47 thing, so it's got to be President Donald John Grover Cleveland Trump.
Right.
Is that fair?
No, that's totally
All
fair,
right,
man.
Let's go. Kenny's back, everybody.
Glad to be back, man.
Man, I'm telling you what. Again, the guys did a great job.
Hey, and thanks to Jerome and Q, man. I really appreciate them being able to do that so I could take a break, you know?
Yeah. And he, they, Jerome and Q, both did a great job, and our thanks to them. All right, Mark Mostert from Able Americans. We talked to somebody from Able Americans not too long ago.
Yeah.
About what's going on right now in D.C., right?
Yeah, Rachel, I believe it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll get an update on that. That's next. Kenny's back on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, #1 for live and local conservative talk.
Stream the Vic Porcelli Show at News Talk STL. The Vic Porcelli Show.
And is that a socialist or progressive perspective? No.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show. Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
And nobody does it like Ken Williams. What do you want me to say? All right, so time to sell the house, I guess, right? You've been in there for 30 years. Kids have grown up. They've moved away. In my case, they've moved away. Now, my son was born in New Jersey, but my girls, the only home they know is where I live right now. It's the only house they've ever lived in. And so when that all comes to an end, time to sell the house, the Wallner Home Selling Team is there to help you get through it all. They are the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway, Rodney and Jen Wallner. And I was thinking last week that, okay, this is fun, okay? But you call the Wallner Home Selling Team at 314-810-SOLD, and Jen answers the phone and says, "Hi, thank you for calling the Wallner Home Selling Team at Berkshire Hathaway. This is Jen speaking. Oh, your house is sold. Thank you." Not quite that fast, but pretty fast. They got a bunch of home buyers that are qualified, ready to go, and to buy your home. So get on the phone now and get to Rodney and Jen Wallner in Missouri or Illinois. They can be reached easily at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD.
The Allman Report.
Wednesday on the Allman Report, a battle royale with a liberal crazy. You're familiar with them. On the Allman Report, News Talk STL.
Jamie Allman. Weeknights at 8 on News Talk STL.
Attention thrill seekers and fun lovers. Did you know the Midwest's largest wooden roller rink is right here in Missouri? Welcome to Piccadilly Palace, your ultimate family entertainment destination. Glide across our massive skating floor, conquer arcade challenges, put your way through mini golf, and dive into cutting-edge virtual reality experiences. And coming soon, a relaxing bar and grill patio, state-of-the-art golf simulators, and heart-pounding two-story go-kart racing next to East Central College in Union, Missouri. Plan your visit now at PiccadillyPalace.com. That's PiccadillyPalace.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Mark Harder, he is running for Missouri Senate District 15. Before I let you go, someone wanted me to ask you about the sign that is next to yours, and it said Harder Daddy.
Some little prankster actually went out and invested about probably $50 in a vinyl banner and hung it next to my sign. So, I guess there's no bad publicity.
Funny.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Tim Jones here for my favorite St. Louis Sports Bar and Grill experience, the go-to spot of Johnny's Hideout. Johnny's Hideout featuring over 40 big screen TVs to watch all the great games this college and NFL season. Awesome food specials every single day that I absolutely love. Bike nights, classic cars on Wednesdays, live music every weekend, and a fantastic time to visit the gorgeous Sunset Patio. Located just 10 minutes from 270 in Gravois, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. onwards. All the information you need to know at jhideout.com. That's jhideout.com. Johnny's Hideout in High Ridge.
Hi, I'm Officer John Van Gordon, recruiter with the Springfield Police Department. We are currently looking for driven, qualified, and team-oriented citizens to become the next generation of community-minded servants here in Springfield. Our salaries and benefits are paid from day one. Plus, right now, new recruits are eligible to receive a $5,000 hiring incentive, and experienced officers looking to transfer are eligible for $10,000. To learn more, visit GoSPD.com. That's GoSPD.com.
Brought to you by the Springfield, Missouri Police Department.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor for all your roofing needs. Visit ConnorRoofing.com. That's CONNER Roofing.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
In my life, I had a guardian angel by my side. I called her Mamaw. She loved the Lord, ladies and gentlemen. She was a woman of very deep Christian faith. But she also loved the F word.
You're listening to the Vic Porcelli Show on News Talk STL.
JD Vance, good morning. Welcome to 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Ken, you wanted to add something to the monologue?
Yeah, I actually did, Vic. I wanted to finish it up on an up note, so, and you asked me about it actually this morning.
Did I?
You did.
Huh. That's crazy. Oh, my God.
I want to give Vic something because, man, I'll tell you, I love Mammoth Cave. If anybody gets a chance, my daughter won't be there any longer, but, man, it's such a great place, Vic. Yeah. And it's a 3X. I tried to get
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I tried to get you a hoodie, a 3X. I didn't have it.
That's okay.
So look at that.
Look at that. Oh, my God.
I actually walked through the cave, the complete cave, with that because it's cold in the cave. It's 54 degrees.
Yeah.
And I used it as a cover.
Big enough to get around you?
It wrapped it around.
Could have used it as a parachute. So what's funny is Ken and I were talking before the show, and he's getting the show ready. And I noticed he's got a Mammoth Cave shirt, and I'm like, hey, man, where's my Mammoth Cave shirt? What's your problem? And he had this planned all along. That's why you were laughing when I said it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's cool.
I love the feel of it. It's like a soft, soft sweatshirt.
Yep.
3Xs?
Yep.
Why? What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
Shut up. Hey, I just noticed something.
What?
Mark Schmitz, Mark Mostert, Mark Harder.
Whoa. It's the day of Marks.
I don't know if we're at our limit, but if we can ask Tim Jones to identify as Mark today, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
Okay. All right, let's get serious here. Mark Mostert, who is an opera lover, I don't know why that's in here. From Able Americans, and we talked last week about this, and Able Americans are just doing a great job. Mark, thanks so much. We've talked to you before too. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, good morning, Vic. How you doing?
We're doing good. So you're an opera lover, really?
I am, yes, and used to sing semi-professionally in my youth.
Wait, you sing opera?
Wow. I do.
Holy cow. I feel every day I feel more and more inadequate in my life. So let's talk a little bit about Able Americans, because once you start talking about it and the information starts coming out, we were talking about the TSA and being an Able American. I mean, what's it like being in a wheelchair and trying to get through the TSA?
It's a nightmare. And one of the issues that we're looking into, we were looking into a lot of issues, but basically the federal government and programs and resources for people with disabilities are so disjointed and so uncoordinated that people just can't get the services that they deserve. And think about this. You use a wheelchair and you've got to get to the airport and you've got to go through TSA, which even with their accommodations is somewhat of a problem. But the problems really begin when you get on the aircraft. Number one, you have to be transferred to what they call a lift chair out of your regular chair because regular chairs don't fit on the through the aisle. Number two, if you're stuck on a flight for a long time and you're in a seat that's far away from the bathroom, it's going to get really difficult for you to get there. And as we all know, on all airlines, bathrooms are not exactly spacious. So there's been rules and different policies on the books related to ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, that has encouraged the airlines to widen their bathrooms so that at least a person with a disability and their helper can get in so that they can actually be comfortable in using the bathroom. Well, that rule has been knocking around for 15, 20 years, and no one's done anything about it. So that's what we're doing at Able Americans. We're taking policies and issues like that and saying, wait a minute, you guys have been talking about this forever. Why hasn't it been implemented? And why aren't the airlines playing along? Now, we all know why, but surely we can get something done to accommodate people with disabilities getting on and off planes. It's an absolute nightmare. I can tell you stories of people who have been forced, I'm not making this up, being forced to crawl down the aisle of the aircraft because they didn't have a lift chair to get the person out of the aircraft. I mean, stuff like that in this day and age is absolutely unacceptable. So, we're looking at a bunch of these issues. Certainly the transportation idea is one. Another one that we didn't think would come up but did is medical bias against people with disabilities. It's quite astounding. There are lots of research studies that show generally more than half of medical professionals, including doctors, physicians, nurses, whatever, would basically on the quiet not prefer to have patients with disabilities. That kind of stuff is obviously, that's got to change. And we're in the process of doing that by providing a whole bunch of policy recommendations that hopefully we can move onto Capitol Hill next year and see if we can get some of this stuff changed. It's about time.
Now, how long has the ADA been in effect? Because it's got to be, first tell me, how many years has the ADA been in effect?
Since 1990.
Holy cow. And yet you still see buildings and places where they're not wheelchair accessible. I mean, what's taking these people so long?
Well, two things. Number one, ADA specifically says that if they grandfathered everything that came before ADA into ADA. So really it's only new construction where you have to have those kinds of accommodations. And if you want to upgrade an older building or facility, certainly you can do that. To do that, obviously, is very expensive. So most facilities, buildings, spaces that were grandfathered in haven't done much. It's only with new construction since 1990. The problem with all of these laws and rules and policies, Vic, is that they mean well, but getting them from policy on a piece of paper to actually helping people with disabilities is a major, major challenge. These government entities go on for years talking about things. I have the unmitigated joy, and I do this on your behalf, to read the Federal Register every week. Now, the Federal Register gets into the weeds on rules, comments, exceptions, and when they're trying to fix a little thing, okay? Let's say we want to fix A for people with disabilities. By the time you've read the Federal Register rules, exceptions, etc., you're looking at a 30, 40-page document.
Wow.
And with all these entities that are impinging on this one little thing that they want to fix, it means absolute inertia. Things don't get done. And so repeatedly you see these government studies, requests for comments, on and on. Hey, we need to change this. Well, you've been talking about changing this since 1990 or 2000 or 2010. This is now almost 2025, guys. We've got to get something done. But you know what bureaucracies are? They exist simply for being bureaucratic. They move very slowly, if at all. And in the end, it's people with disabilities who pay the price.
So here's an astounding fact. 1 in 4 Americans have some sort of disability. That's an astounding number.
Yeah, it is. And that includes different categories under ADA. It also includes medical disabilities. And depending on the figures you look at, it's roughly between 60 and 65 million people that have an identifiable, verifiable disability. And if you then add in their caregivers, their support people, you're looking at about 100 million Americans that are impacted by disability. And that gets worse, of course, as the baby boomers age. The older you get, the more likely you're to have medical disabilities, one or more. And so there's this huge demand to have efficient services, effective services, the least amount of red tape possible, and we're not there. And that's what we're doing at Able Americans. We're challenging all of that and saying, look, this is what you want done. Here's a policy to fix that. Now let's get on and fix it. It's been too long getting these things done. The time to act is now.
We're talking to Mark Mostert from Able Americans. And with so many things, especially in an election year, Mark, people's minds, people's thoughts are all over the place. They're scattered. There's so many things. I feel like people don't think about you or your organization or people with disabilities at all. You know, everybody's got their own life, and you know, I don't know. Do you find that people are just don't think about where they park? 'Cause this is why I ask. Okay, I saw a photo of a van with disabled parking plates, and somebody parked too close to that so that the person with the wheelchair couldn't get up the ramp to get into the. I mean, we just don't think two or three dimensionally when it comes to disabled Americans. I don't think.
I think that's very true. I think that generally speaking, you're right. People are busy. It doesn't occur to them. Another major issue around people who do not have disabilities is that when they run into someone with a disability, they really aren't quite sure how to act. And when you're not quite sure how to act, you don't want to offend people, especially in this day and age. People just then ignore people with disabilities. And the disability community is well aware of that. On the other hand, I will guarantee that everyone that works at your radio station has some form of disability story, either their own or their family or acquaintances or whatever. So we all kind of in the background are aware that it's there. But going from that background awareness to actively being supportive is a big ask. And many people, as you say, don't ever get there, unfortunately.
Yeah. And you know what? You try to do what you can.
Yes.
We were talking a little while ago about doing your part for people, just helping out. And I'm 6 feet tall. And when I'm in the supermarket, I go out of my way to look for little old ladies. I hate to use that phrase, but short old ladies who can't reach the top shelf, you know? And it's like, can I get those olives for you, hon? You know? But I mean, just to think about people who may need a hand, not because they want any charity from you, but you would do it for somebody who wasn't disabled.
Correct. And quite frankly, people who have at least visible disabilities that we can see are I think, generally appreciative of the kind of offer that you just made. Now, there is a very tiny portion of the disability community that will say, we don't need any help, leave us alone. But, you know, it's fine to have the activist idea. But generally speaking, I think that's true. And just common sense and common kindness and consideration go a long way in helping people with disabilities. And they, you know, as you'll know, if you do speak to people out at the grocery store or whatever and say, you know, hey, can I get that for you? Or generally speaking, they'll say, hey, thanks, really appreciate it. And then we all go on our way. That recognition in and of itself, I think is a step in the right direction to say, we acknowledge that you're, for example, you're in a wheelchair, so you can't reach the top shelf. And instead of waiting for an attendant to turn up, I'll be happy to help you get that down.
Yes.
Those kind of considerations go a long way.
All right, we got about a minute left, Mark. Anything we can look for? Any committee hearings? You guys testifying at all in DC? Anything we can look for?
Yeah, I go to the National Center, nationalcenter.org. Able Americans is a program as part of that. We have just launched a brand new website called Project Access, maybe for another time, but it's a big step in the right direction of getting people information about federal programs. And then the policies we've been discussing are now part of a major document that we launched with a webinar 2 weeks ago. We had a lot of people, congressional staffers, think tanks, those kind of people turn up. They were enthralled that we're doing this. And the idea for the new year is to now start making contact with House staff, with senators, with Congress people, to see if we can get in front of them to explain what we're doing. And then they hopefully can carry that forward to change policies and programs that need to be changed.
Fantastic. Mark Mostert from Able Americans, thank you so much for your time. Update us on anything that's happening with the organization, and we will get the message out there as much as we can, okay?
Vic, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Our pleasure, too. All right, Mark Mostert, opera singer. Kidding me?
Yeah. I thought you were going to ask him to sing us a few bars.
I thought about it. It ran through my head. I didn't want to put him on the spot. You know, he didn't warm up, do the vocal warm up.
Yeah.
I mean, singing opera is not like, you know, brown sugar, it's like the range, different language. I mean, there's so much that goes into opera.
Oh, it's an amazing way to sing. And from what I've heard, though, it's such a natural thing for opera singers. He could have probably rolled it off right then.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. There was a St. Louis Opera Company, St. Louis Opera Theater for a while. I don't know if they're still around, but they did opera in English. So you knew.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because all these operas are in different languages.
Right.
But apparently the movements and everything tell the story. I don't know. Being stupid is not a disability, is it?
No.
1 in 4 people have a disability, Mark said.
Really?
Yeah, 1 in 4.
Of some sort.
Yeah.
Now, would that include OCD?
I guess. Does it include stupid? That's what I want to know. That's what I'm concerned about.
Fear of heights, maybe?
Oh my God, please. This ride Ken went on, he did a little video of it. And then we were talking on the phone last night a little bit. And I said, what was that, like a roller coaster? He said, no, it's not really a roller coaster. He goes, but you'd hate it.
Yeah, it's a mile-long track. And the higher you go up this mountain, you go straight up the mountain. You don't weave or anything. You go straight up. And as you get higher, it goes more vertical to the point to where you almost slip off your seats.
I'm trying to find the fun in that, Ken.
It was a blast.
Yeah, for some people, not for me. I was on the internet, and they had that old picture of the guys, old construction guys building skyscrapers, and they're sitting on the beam having lunch.
Oh, that I cannot.
My stomach queases just looking at the photograph.
I'm afraid I don't trust myself to hold on.
It's my dream every night, just so you know, every night.
Oh, wow.
All right, coming up next, former Speaker of the House and our afternoon guy, Tim Jones. We're going to change his name to Mark just for fun on News Talk STL. Welcome home.
Woosh.
Hi, this is Blues broadcaster Chris Kerber, and head down to Busch Stadium on Friday, September 6th, when the Cardinals host the Mariners. That night, 25,000 fans 16 and older will take home a Cardinals hockey sweater courtesy of Scott Credit Union. Upgrade your experience with a Blues Night themed ticket and guarantee yourself a Cardinals and Blues themed full zip jacket courtesy of Valley Sports. That's Friday, September 6th. For tickets, visit cardinals.com/promotions. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Cardinals fans, we have one of the most unique giveaways of the year coming up on Saturday, September 7th. That Saturday kicks off Hall of Fame weekend at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals host the Mariners, and 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home an exclusive canvas print featuring some of St. Louis's most beloved Cardinals Hall of Famers, all courtesy of Edward Jones. Saturday, September 7th, mark it down. Hall of Fame weekend, your chance to take home this great, unique canvas print. For tickets, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Ozzie Smith, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. These pills work for men and women to improve their sexual performance. And now for the price of 2 or 3 pills, you can get nearly 100. There's no need to pay expensive prices for Viagra or Cialis. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Change your life for the better and have fun. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
800-631-2030. 800-631-2030. 800-631-2030. That's 800-631-2030.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Kamala Harris will finally give an interview, but she will not be going solo. Running mate Tim Walz will be there with Harris on the CNN set That pre-recorded interview scheduled to air at 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. An issue involving the microphones has yet to be ironed out in plans for a Trump-Harris debate.
In a social media post Tuesday afternoon, Donald Trump claimed an agreement had been reached and that debate microphones would be muted when it's not a candidate's turn to speak. But the Harris campaign rejected that claim a few hours later, saying the issue remains a matter of ongoing conversation with host network ABC. Trump's campaign wants mics to be muted, while the vice president's team prefers unmuted mics for the duration of the debate, which is scheduled for September 10th. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Special counsel Jack Smith has brought a superseding indictment against former President Trump. This has to do with the 2020 election interference case and the BBC's Carl Nassman in Washington.
In terms of the case itself, it's very unlikely that this will even begin before voters go to the polls on November 5th. And if Donald Trump does win that election, if he becomes president again, he'll have the power to tell the government to drop the case altogether. So we'll have to see what happens there. Interestingly, in terms of spectacle and media, Jack Smith has said that he won't require Donald Trump to have another arraignment. So we won't likely see that big media scrum again. We won't see Donald Trump come back into a courtroom to face these new charges.
Mr. Trump calls the new indictment a sign of desperation. Israel says the 10 Palestinians killed in raids in the West Bank were terrorists and says its military operation is aimed at protecting Israeli civilians from attack. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up now 17 points, while the NASDAQ 179 points in the red. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-8822. That's 800-838-8822. 800
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Piccadilly Palace, located in Union, Missouri. The ultimate family fun center is Piccadilly Palace. Call 314-860-6418 or visit piccadillypalace.com. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
This hot and humid summer pattern still locked in, but scattered storms will help provide relief in spots today. No severe storms with this morning's spotty rain. Happy about that. But there could be a stronger cell or two among the storms this afternoon. And in between, hot and humid again. Up to 95 this afternoon. Heat index between 100 and 104. Partly cloudy tonight, down to 76. And then we're hot again Thursday as temps jump to 97. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour, the Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Proctor Drapery Blinds and Shutters. Proctor, spelled like doctor. ProctorDrapery.com. Vic Porcelli.
Come on, you're Italian. You understand.
Every day is a busy day all of a sudden.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Tough and smart, and I love Italian, so, he's definitely Italian.
At least I have this show to come and talk about it and let some stuff up.
What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today?
The Vic Porcelli Show.
All right, welcome to hour number 2. Thanks to Ken Williams on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. So how do we do this? Let me see. Yeah, okay, so that's how we do it. So far this morning we've had Mark Schmitz, Jared Schmitz's dad, Mark Mostert from Able Americans. We got Mark Harder coming up, so we have to ask Tim Jones if he'll identify as Mark. See how that goes.
Timmy.
Former Speaker of the House.
You just proved why you left-wing loons are so insane.
Y'all ready for this?
Tim Jones.
Mark Jones, former Speaker of the House. How are you, Mr. Speaker?
Well, with the rules of 2024, Ken and Vic, I can identify as anybody I want.
Right.
That's the new rule book, right? I mean, I'm going to be identifying this weekend as a professional golfer. I'm going to go play in the FedEx Cup down in Atlanta at the Atlanta Country Club, the home of Bobby Jones. That's what I'm going to do this weekend.
Are you that good, really?
Well, I can be. I can just identify that way.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm just going to identify as a scratch golfer.
Got it.
We identify you as. Well, I just ruined that one.
That's okay.
No, you're Tim.
If they don't let me in, then I'll file a lawsuit.
There you
That's
go.
the way
That's
it
how-
works.
that's
You know? Yeah.
So you're out, you're down, you're in DC right now. Chris Arps is in like Hilton Head or something. He put a picture of himself on the beach yesterday.
Yes, he did.
And Jamie Allman, right? Our new friend here, our old friend, new to the station.
Old new friend couldn't be
old new
happier
friend.
he's back. So awesome.
8 to 10 every night. And yesterday he did your show, and he made me laugh because he was talking about Kamala Harris is going to do an interview, but Tim Waltz will be right at her side during the interview on CNN with Dana Bash. And Jamie goes, but it'll be the regular bull crappery. He made up a new word. Bull
crappery. He's going to save her, isn't he, Tim?
Well, of course. I mean, you know, who wouldn't want whack job weirdo Tim Waltz sitting next to him? You know, when I was Speaker of the House, Vic, that's how I did all my interviews. I always had somebody hold my hand.
Yeah.
You know, so I wouldn't get scared. I mean, can you believe this? This is a woman who has reached, you know, the highest pinnacle of power, save for the presidency of the United States. She's the vice president of the United States of America. She has been the attorney general of the state of California. She's been a U.S. senator. These are positions that relatively few Americans ever get within, 30 miles of. These are, and usually you would expect that people who reach these pinnacles of positions in power, that they would be able to give an interview and explain why they're doing what they're doing or why they're supporting what they're doing. And this woman can't get through a simple interview without becoming cackling comrade Kamala. I mean, she's an epic disaster. She's a target-rich environment for Republicans. And, I'm kind of sick and tired of Republicans being on vacation. I feel like with the exception of Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and you know what? I'm going to give a little hat tip to Speaker Mike Johnson, because I have seen him out there on his bully pulpit making some of these points as well. With the exception of those three and the two U.S. senators from Missouri, Josh Hawley and Eric Schmidt, who I see all the time on the national news networks, where is everybody else?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, did they all have to take a 6-week break here? We have a country at risk. 70 days from now, and they're all in Lord knows where, sitting on, God knows what beach, thinking about what they're going to do. Maybe in mid-September when we get back into the swing of things. The swamp up here, it's actually kind of nice being in. It's 1,000 degrees here, just like it is back home. But it's kind of nice because it's quiet. There's like no one here. Like everybody's on break. We went to the Hill yesterday, and luckily, I'm happy to report, all the Republican offices were staffed. We stopped by Senator Schmitz's office, Senator Hawley's office, and then we had time in the House to hit 3 offices. We swung by Ann Wagner's office, Congressman Jason Smith's office, my old roommate from Jeff City, and then my very good friend, Congressman Eric Burleson's office. And, all their staffers were there, and we got some great meetings and such and so forth. But, in general, the place is pretty quiet, and, you wouldn't, if you were in this town is so ridiculous. This is such a la-la land up here. It really is the capital. It really is Pan Am, the capital of the Hunger Games. Because if you were here in this town, you would have no clue that the rest of the country is suffering and scratching and clawing under the policies of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. You wouldn't know that inflation is at historic meteoric levels. You wouldn't know that people are trying to figure out how to put gas in their tank, groceries in their car. I saw a story this morning. You guys may or not have talked about it yet. Insurance rates, car insurance rates are expected to skyrocket 22% this year. How in the world are Americans supposed to afford this? There was a retired police officer from Florida on the news this morning saying, at first I did a little work in retirement just to have some extra beer money. He goes, now I have to go back to work because I need some extra heating money, air conditioning money, car insurance money, mortgage money. He goes, it's gotten ridiculous. He goes, I'm 70 years old. I've done my service. I've done my duty to country. And I couldn't agree more. These are the Americans that are being left behind. And Kamala Harris wants to leave them further behind with her Marxist commie policies. And people need to wake up and smell the coffee. This is not a new Kamala Harris. Despite what CNN and MSDNC are telling you, this is the same failed Kamala Harris that we've been making fun of, appropriately so, for the past 3.5 years.
Couple quick things. Not to brag, but I have as many votes for president as Kamala Harris does. I'm just saying.
You do.
Right?
You do. You're qualified.
Just saying. And it's funny, you were at the Hill yesterday. I was at the Hill yesterday, too, at Canetto's House of Pasta. So that was good.
It's a more fun hill.
Yeah.
It's a more fun hill. It's a
So
funner hill.
listen, this debate coming up with Trump and Kamala, she's going to be alone, right? She's not going to have Tim next to her there helping her out.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Is that one of the rule changes she requested? I mean, the woman gets everything she wants.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the same rules as the Biden debate. No notes and
turning the mic, muting the mic,
muting mics, and no
notes.
However, she's
at a mic. Yes.
But I just read just now that she just came out and said, we're not so sure about the muted mic thing. We want that. We want the mic to be on.
Yeah.
So what is this, Tim? Is it just her rules? Is it Kamala Harris's rules? She walks in and says, "Wait a minute, I don't care what that felon says. I want the rules to be this way." Is that what's going on?
Go.
It's not that, Ken. It's that she doesn't want to debate. She doesn't want to debate. Okay, let's just be honest. She's using all these things as excuses, hoping that she'll piss Trump off enough and press his buttons. And I got to give it to President Trump. He's been a more focused candidate this time around. He knows DC now. He knows the political games now. He understands how these people operate. And I think he's taking a much more strategic and tactical approach to this. And so what he does is his response is initially he'll respond and he'll act all upset and then he'll go, "Okay, fine. Let's just do the debate." He needs this debate. We need this debate. The country needs this debate. I don't care if everybody has to stand on their head and Kamala Harris is going to be rocked in the loving arms of Tim Walz. We need to have this debate because she can't defend her record, which is Joe Biden's record. Their record is one and the same. I love did you see the New York Post cover today, guys? The headline was Harris for Trump, and they had a big red hat on her because she's adopting all of the president's policies that she said were racist and jingoistic and xenophobic and white Christian MAGA ultra nationalist. She's now adopting all the policies. She goes, no taxes on tips. Well, I'm for that. A border wall. Well, I'm for that. And so, but the problem is she doesn't mean it. And all we're hearing this from is some random aide who told some other random aide who told some random reporter who reported it from an anonymous source that she's changed her positions. Let's get her on the mic, on the hot mic, at a debate, defending the record that has failed this country and is sending us towards Armageddon and oblivion. Tim Walz and Kamala Harris want to shred the Constitution. They want government to be invading every single aspect of your life. And if you don't believe me, well, I was going to say you'd have to look at her policies, but her policies aren't published anywhere. How about look at her record? Her record as vice president, voting for the most horrific bills that have screwed this country upside down in 6 ways from Sunday. Look at her record as a senator, where in 2019, that's not the Stone Ages. In 2019, she was ranked the most liberal senator in the U.S. Senate, right next to Bernie Sanders. And look at her record as her failed record as attorney general in California. None of these records are what she's trying to run on now. She is a far left-wing, liberal, progressive senator who believes that the big hand of government should be involved in every aspect of your life. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights be damned.
At the top of the show, Mark, we had Mark Schmitz, Jared Schmitz's dad, right in the studio here.
It's all Mark Wednesday.
It's an all Mark Wednesday, but
double Woosh all Mark Wednesday.
They've never been called. Joe Biden never called. Nobody from the White House or anything called him after that incident. And do you remember, Ken brought this up when we were talking to Mark, when Biden kept looking at his watch when they were receiving the bodies, and Mark was right there on the tarmac, and it was all he could do to not run and choke Joe Biden and say, "It's 2:20, okay? Stop looking at your watch."
Yeah.
But then he was like, "Well, there's a bunch of Secret Service guys here. Maybe I should just say." But he saw the disrespect that these two gave to his own son, Tim.
Well, and you know why they won't talk about it, and you know why they don't want to talk about it now, and you know why the other day you know what? If you had landed on this, if you had landed in Washington D.C. from Mars, and you knew nothing about the current state of our country, wouldn't you have thought that Donald Trump was still the president?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was the guy dressed in the dignified blue suit, standing in a somber way at Arlington Cemetery. I mean, I don't know about you guys. That made me emotional watching that.
Me too. Yeah.
It was hard to watch, but I watched it because I and every American owes every single one of those people a debt that can never be repaid. The fact that we have young men and women still in this, as much as we complain about the current state of affairs and the younger generations, blah, 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 there's still, there is still plenty of young men and women in this country that sign up every single day to serve voluntarily in our armed services. And we owe them a debt that can never be repaid. And watching the president stand with those grieving fans, still grieving as they should be 3 years later at Arlington Cemetery, putting up the wreaths, listening to the Marine Corps fellow play taps after each placement of the wreath, watching the Marines in their ceremonial uniforms escort people up, and very powerful. You would have thought that President Trump was the president, because where was the actual president? We have no idea. Sitting on a beach somewhere. I don't know. Is he still around? We haven't heard from him in well over a week. And the woman who wants to be the next president, nowhere to be found as well. So while Donald Trump was being presidential, the current White House was issuing a statement on that day, and that's all we got from him. And you know why? Because August of 2021 was the beginning of the end of this administration. Because from that point forward, Joe Biden's popularity, along with Kamala Harris's, began to plummet downwards, and they never recovered from it until this repackaging of this new Kamala Harris that they want us all to believe is different than the old Kamala Harris when she's actually the same person. That failure then led to all the other failures of the administration, and it's not just politics. It led to actual failures in the United States of America and around the world. These things actually, the Democrats, all they care about is power. And so everything's a political power play to them. They don't really care about the reality of the real world consequences of historic high inflation and the freaking globe in chaos, conflagration, and crisis. Every day we wake up, there's some new kettle pot that's blown up somewhere around the world. You can trace it all back to Afghanistan in 2021. You know why? Because that showed the world, the tin pot dictators and the petty tyrants, that America was a weakened nation because of its weakened leader. And that's why we're in the predicament that we're in now, domestically and internationally.
All right, a few things. We're running out of time here, Tim. We're talking to Tim Jones, former Speaker of the House, current good-looking afternoon guy. Another part of that ceremony with the wreath with President Trump, somebody filmed him and the Marine walking with the wreath where it was going to be placed, and they were in exact. President Trump made sure he was in exact step with that Marine.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty good honor.
Cool, yeah.
So that's that. I've come up with a little, I don't know what it is, observation and or guidelines to refer to President Trump. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
People who don't like him, never Trumpers, there's never Trumpers around everywhere. They refer to him as Trump, and that's it. People who are a little less of never Trumpers, they just call him Donald Trump. Then people who want to be they think they're being, strategic, they call him Mr. Trump because they don't want to say president. People who want to be accurate, like some people in the news, say former President Trump, but
correct. President
Trump is how he is referred to by Dan Bongino, Tyrus from the Gutfeld Show, me, and Ken.
And Tim Jones, too. He did it today.
And you said it this morning. You said President Trump. So from now on, we will only refer to him as President Trump or President Donald John Grover Cleveland Trump.
Well stated. And, it's a sign of respect, and there's different rules and different formalities depending on who you believe and what book of etiquette you believe. But, when I haven't been in the legislature since 2015. And I still get a kick out of it when people call me Speaker Jones. It's nice. No one needs to call me that. I'm just Tim. I've always been Tim. But it's a sign of respect. And when people still say things like that, it reminds me of the things that I gave in my public service to our state and to our nation. And it makes me feel good, not only about my accomplishments, but all the other accomplishments I had with all of my colleagues during those times. It brings back a flood of memories of all the battles we fought and the things we waged, not just about me, but about our movement in general. And so it's a sign of respect, right? And so I pay it back in kind. Whenever I run into someone, of course, if they're currently in office, they're proper. Even some of my best friends, and they think it's funny and all. But when I run into my very good friend Eric Burleson, I call him Congressman. Especially when we're in public.
Yes.
It's a sign of respect. And so, you know what though? I don't think it bothers President Trump whatsoever, because what does he put on all of his buildings and all of his hotels? Trump.
I know.
So you could call him whatever you want. I think he just loves that you have to say his name.
Yeah.
And there's something that they'll never take away from him. He will always have been a president of the United States, and he's going to be one again. But that's something, no matter what they do, Vic and Ken, no matter how many times they impeach him, no matter how many stupid indictments Jack Smith refiles, they want to take that away from him. They never can. The one thing they haven't been able to accomplish is completely and utterly brainwashing us and removing and rewriting history. I'm sure I'm sure in their Orwellian minds, they'd love to do that someday. They'd love to create the Wayback Machine and scrub history of Donald Trump ever having existed in any way, shape, or form, but they can't, and they'll never be able to take that away from them. And it bothers them that there was and always will be a President Donald J. Trump.
You know what? I sometimes don't like that I get so familiar with Nick Schroer, that I forget the title, and I think it is a thing of respect. So if I don't do it, all right. Last thing, very sad thing. Did you ever serve with Kathy Conway when she was in the House of Representatives?
I did. She was one class behind me. I was her majority leader. I was her speaker. She was a fine lady. She was tough as nails. I think she had a law enforcement background. I think she may have worked in the prison system in some capacity. She was a tough old gal, and there was a few things that we disagreed on. I love doing battle with anyone debate wise, and I love when we have debates amongst ourselves, people who generally think the same things, because you always want to make sure you're not just surrounded by a bunch of yes people, right? So, iron sharpens steel, and it's always good to have those. And Kathleen was one of those people that, and she would always do it in a very polite way, but she was always very stern about it, And I always kind of felt like I was arguing with the librarian, or the principal,
Yeah.
She was older than me. And I was a young whippersnapper who became speaker. And I have fond memories of her. I miss her on this planet Earth, and look forward to seeing her someday. I know she's smiling down on us and probably laughing at me right now.
So a couple of things about her, just very quickly, because we got to go, Tim. First of all, in case you don't know, Kathy Conway passed away on Saturday at the age of 69. She was the first person who messaged me when I got this job, when this station started. She was like,
"Oh my gosh!"
She said, "Look, you're where you're supposed to be."
Wow.
That's great, Vic.
Wow.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she was a fine lady.
She was.
I will miss her. It always breaks my heart anytime lose somebody, because look, these are your brothers and sisters in arms. We fought epic battles, most of the time not with each other, but with the Democrats. But we were, you become, and even if you've never been in elected office, everybody has these experiences, right? Whether you're in whether you're at a job for a long time, or whether you're involved in a community organization for a long time, where you're all working really hard together towards a common purpose and goal, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears along the way with whatever that mission might be. And so when you lose a member of your team, when you lose a member of your company, when you lose a member of your brother or sisterhood, it hurts. It's sad. And that's why, despite all these political and public policy debates and battles we have every day, always remember your friends, your family, and those experiences you have with them are the most important things that you should take with you.
Yep, we're going to miss her. All right, Speaker Tim Jones, thank you so much, sir. Keep up the good fight, and we will talk again on the air next week, but we'll talk next time I see you. Stupid. I'm so stupid. I have a disability.
Double whoosh, my ultra mega Trumper brothers.
Woosh, whoosh.
Woosh, my speaker. All right, that is Tim Jones.
See you, Tim.
You know, Kathy Conway. She used to listen to me at the radio station, the music station too, believe it or not. And we would talk on Messenger once in a while. And then when I lost my job, I was like, hey, can I come be your press secretary or something like that? Can I come work for you? Can I be your chief of staff? And she's like, well, we don't really have the budget for that. So I really like Kathy, and she was very supportive of me. So we're going to miss her. Okay, chat box promise next. Okay,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
And Mark Harder will find out what the hell is going on with Dennis Hancock on the St. Louis County Council.
What's going on?
What's going on? It's all next on 101.9 and 94.1, number one for live and local conservative talk.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Be cool, honey bunny. Be cool.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Whoosh, whoosh.
Forgot about Double Wish Wednesday while you were gone, didn't you? All right. So, firearms. We have to make sure they never, ever get to a point where they're thinking about taking our firearms away. So what about the laws? What do you know about the laws? What do you know about the Second Amendment? How much do you really know about it? How much do you know about firearms, gun safety, all that stuff? Southern Armory knows all that stuff, and they know it and will teach you if you need to know any of these things in a friendly, man-to-man, man-to-woman, whatever it is kind of way. Nothing condescending, no holier-than-thou attitudes going on at Southern Armory. It really is just a friendly place where you can get all your firearms, your accessories, your ammunition, whether you're a competitor, an experienced shooter, or a first-time gun buyer. Either way, Southern Armory is the place to go. And when you walk in there and you do pick up a firearm, notice the safety that they give you. When you ever see a picture, like there's a picture of our friend Scotty Downey, the Navy chief, in his uniform in Iraq or wherever he was, and he's got his long gun, and that finger is right along the barrel, and that's the way you do it. And if you see somebody with a gun in their hand, they don't do it, well, they haven't been to Southern Armory to learn all that stuff. They also, by the way, have Wise food buckets, 25-year shelf life on those, and you can get them cheaper at Southern Armory than online. Go to Southern Armory, 9901 Watson Road, southernarmory.com, southernarmory.com.
How are your windows doing this summer? Are they keeping the hot air out, keeping the cool air in? If you have any doubts at all, once you get a hold of Window World, simply the best for less. Give them a call today, 314-993-1800. Tim Jones here to tell you how awesome Window World is, one of only 2 window companies in the entire country that carry the coveted Good Housekeeping seal of approval. They've got a lifetime warranty, covers all parts, glass breakage, and labor, a double strength of glass, incredibly thermally efficient, for the first time ever, offering 0% financing plans up to 36 months. 314-993-1800. 314-993-1800. WindowWorld.com. WindowWorld.com.
1949, the last time a Republican held the top post in St. Louis City. A gallon of milk was 84 cents, and streetcars ran down Grand Avenue. The city was booming. Unfortunately, St. Louis city streets are no longer the epicenter of family and business life. In the 80 years of Democrat control, our city has been on a steady decline. St. Louis City Republicans believe it is our duty to provide a different path forward. Learn more at stlouisrepublicans.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican Pat Curtis, Farber Treasurer.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-240-4586. 800-240-4586. That's 800-240-4586.
The Allman Report.
Wednesday on the Allman Report, a battle royale with a liberal crazy. You're familiar with them. On the Allman Report, News Talk STL.
Jamie Allman. Weeknights at 8 on News Talk STL. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. The Vic Porcelli Show.
She knows so long as she was 9, our freedom can never be secured.
English, motherfucker!
Now, do you speak it?
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL.
Can I just say something? Ken Williams is so good, right? He can talk. He'll be talking, hit the button, and it hits the drum beat or the tempo change or something right on the mark. You're good.
Thanks, Vic.
No more vacations for you, however.
He's all rested.
I'm rested.
Look what he brought me.
What are you bringing?
I got a Mammoth Cave sweatshirt.
Wow.
Because it's going to be cool tonight, I hear.
Yeah.
And he made sure it was 3X for his big fat friend Vic.
I went around to a couple places to find a hoodie that was 3X. They did, and you know why they ran out of them? Because other people needed them. Vic.
Yeah, I'm listening.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So
what
you're not
saying.
the only one. I used it as a blanket while I was going through the cave.
That's actually two of them sewn together, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why don't you both shut up for 5 minutes, okay? That's Mark Carter. He'll be with us in a second. Lots to talk to him about. But Ken.
Yes, Vic.
Can we do some chat box music, please?
I think we should.
Maestro. All right, let's start. Can we start on Facebook today for no reason? Just that's where I'm at. Was there a problem with Rumble? First comment in Facebook is, where's Rumble today? Rumble's on Rumble, Don. Good morning, Freedom Fighters. Vic Hayes. All right, we're on Rumble. GMFFDH. Good morning, Freedom Fighting Dickheads. From Vegas, going to be 103 today. Vote Trump America. Here in St. Louis, the heat index could be as high as 101.9.
It could be, Vic.
See what I did?
I think I saw that.
Tough getting, it's tough getting a laugh around here. Glad you're back, Ken.
Thank you.
Hope you had a great time.
Yeah, we did.
Shout out to Michael's Funeral Home. Michael's
Funeral, that's what it was.
Yeah, and all those bikers showed up, man. You guys are the best. Good morning, Vic and Freedom Fighting Dickheads. Welcome back, Ken. All right, enough with the welcome back, Ken, okay? Good morning, gents and fellow Vic heads. Great interview. Oh, hopefully be down in Festus for that event. That's our Navy Chief, Scotty Downey.
Oh, thanks, Scotty.
That's awesome, Ken. Oh, my God. Ken. It's all about Ken. On vacation and having a mini town hall. That's just cool. That really was cool that you had that little.
It was weird, too, because people are so engaged right now, and they want to express themselves, especially if you're a Trump supporter. You just you got to get it out because nobody's letting you right now.
But sometimes you're afraid, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you may get ostracized by some stupid libturd.
Yep.
Good Wednesday morning, Freedom Fighters from Tom. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks,
That's Ken Williams, ladies and gentlemen. That's what Barb said. That's Ken Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Bob. Is he my brother?
What? Barb.
Oh, Barb.
You have a brother named Barb?
No, I think you said Bob.
Okay. What are you saying? I don't enunciate when I speak?
You're good.
You know? Agree with Ken? My God, what is it with Ken? Facts are on our side, and Trump's going to get more votes than ever. But they have shenanigans.
Yep.
They have shenanigans more than ever. Cheat on their side. Too big to rig is not enough. So, hold on. Keep the music up. Donald Trump won in 2016. Joe Biden supposedly got 81 million votes in 2020. Are we to believe that Kamala Harris will get more than 81 million votes, more than Joe Biden's historic election?
Another factor in there, Vic. Trump got the most votes of an American sitting president in history.
And somehow Kamala's going to get more than that? By the way, it's President Trump.
That's right.
I call Clinton Slick Willie. I think he stole that from Rush Limbaugh, Paula, but that's okay. Welcome back, Ken. Oh, my God. Leanne, our friend Leanne, who listens from South Africa sometimes. Oh, and by the way, I think, were you here, Ken, for the quicker picker-upper conversation?
I don't think so.
I got on the air and I said, you know what? I don't think that Bounty is the quicker picker-upper. I just don't. So Leanne, our friend Leanne, says, oh, no, you're wrong. She actually was an engineer at Procter & Gamble making Bounty.
See, we got the best listeners, man.
Yeah.
I'd say that qualifies her to give the information.
Yeah. Why don't you shut up, okay? Welcome back, Ken. What in the hell? We know the DNC will cheat. That's in their DNA.
Yep.
The encouraging part is more Democrats are endorsing President Trump this time. How about RFK, Tulsi Gabbard? I mean, they're all coming over on our side.
Yeah, and that's another part of the truth, man. They're coming over for a reason. They're not just saying, no, it'd probably be a good time for me to do this. It's because we have the truth and facts on our side. That's why they're coming over.
Truth and facts on our side. That's the moral of the story and the theme of the day today.
Yep.
Barry says, I don't get to chat much anymore. Just wanted you to know that you're still, you and Ken, number one in our hearts. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having Mark on with Able Americans. Any one of us is one incident away from being disabled.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Mark is a wonderful advocate. He is. Doesn't Tim Waltz remind you of Charles Nelson Riley?
A little bit. A little. You know what? Actually, I was trying to figure out what actor he reminded me of from a long time ago, and I think that's the one.
Well, the one thing somebody put on the internet, which I think is the definitive one. You didn't watch Schitt's Creek, did you?
Yeah, I did a little bit.
Remember Bob, who always walked?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's Tim Waltz.
That is him. What is with the flailing hands?
That's the way he walked in every day. He walked in like that. So I did that in front of Jeff, and goes like, I'm not going to get that image out of my mind all weekend. That was funny. All right, Vic, is your Trump? How is your Trump voice coming? I don't know. I'm working on the Trump voice. Ken, you were here for that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm working on it. Abu,
yes,
the car. I don't know.
I noticed that you use the what's the primer? Because you have a primer for every one of your voices.
Abu. The
Oh,
word
Abu.
Abu. Yeah.
And then your hand.
Yeah.
You got to do the hands.
You got the hands like this.
Everything's fantastic.
Don't
Right.
cry, Abu. He cried. I wouldn't cry. He cried. I wouldn't
This
cry.
is the best you've ever done.
Good morning, freedom fighters. This is the Rumble. We missed you, Ken. No jonesing allowed. What does that mean?
I was jonesing on getting back.
Oh,
in here.
yes, you were. He can't even go on vacation. Pledge allegiance. Thanks, everybody. No fair elections.
No peace.
No fair election.
No peace.
Mega, ultra patriotic, deplorable, freedom fighting, God fearing, dickhead weirdos. One nation under God. I'm sorry, guys. This is all my fault. But we're not going to get to all these. We're not going to get to all these comments. I'm sorry. It's Ken's fault.
I just changed the scroll up on the stream. Hey, by the way, if you get a chance, if you're not able to listen on the radio, listen to our go to our stream.
Yes.
We're at X. We're at YouTube still. We're at YouTube again. We're on Rumble and of course Facebook.
Taking all the handsomeness that's in the studio all day. Yeah. More handsomeness. Mark Carter coming up next on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Number one for live and local conservative talk.
Woosh.
Yeah, baby.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. The Vic Porcelli Show.
Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
Made in St. Louis for St. Louis. It's News Talk STL. This is News Talk STL. News, analysis, and opinion from the voices you know and trust. News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and newstalkstl.com.
The Herzog Foundation is the vision of its founder, Stanley Herzog, and it exists to promote quality Christ-centered K-12 education nationwide.
Hi, this is Chris Stegall with the Herzog Foundation. We offer a wide variety of resources relevant to today's families, including a free online publication called The Lion. The lion is one of God's most majestic creatures, symbolizing strength and courage. Named for its attributes, the Lion publication carries articles covering a wide range of topics facing American families and culture, especially related to the education of children. The Lion can be found online at readlion.com. That's READ lion.com.
Sign up for The Lion at readlion.com and find dozens of must-read articles published every day. Visit readlion.com and subscribe for the weekly and daily digests so you never miss an article. Readlion.com. That's readlion.com.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
Drew Allen, he joins us. Donald Trump proved that he can drill, baby drill, fracking, XL Pipeline. Ken's paying $1.81 at the Circle K in Afton. Groceries are more affordable. We can afford our medicine. What does Kamala's skin color have to do with any of that?
In 30 seconds, you just made the case to re-elect Donald Trump.
Vic Porcelli, live and local, weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Hey, Colombo here for the great team at All Solutions Pest Control. We've been using pest control services at our home for years, and the results we've had with All Solutions are second to none. So if you're experiencing a pest problem, or more importantly, want to prevent a problem, All Solutions Pest Control are the ones to call. Right now, you can take advantage of their incredible $67 introductory offer. Learn more and contact them now at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Fox News commentary.
Kamala Harris now supports border wall construction. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Success. It's discipline. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us that comes before all recognition. It's the best of each of us made better by the best in all of us. It's what Stifel's been doing for over 130 years. And it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management and investment banking firms in the industry. Stifel. It's where success meets success. Start your journey at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Due to the fact Kamala still has not put out a policy plan on her own website or elsewhere, and since she has not done a formal interview or press conference, we've been left trying to decipher what exactly it is she would do as president. Her campaign is like a lottery scratch-off ticket or a box of chocolates. We don't really know what we're going to get. Well, except for the few things she's ripped off of Trump, of course. First, it was no tax on tips. Then she jacked J.D. Vance's child tax care credit increase. And now Kamala wants to build the wall? Well, campaign ads for Kamala not only depict the border wall, but in her own words, Kamala has vowed to resurrect the bipartisan so-called border bill. Who knows, maybe she hasn't read it yet, but it does require hundreds of millions of unspent funds to be used on border wall construction. This change of heart is miraculous, given just a few years ago, she told us the border wall was just a Trump vanity project. I guess she wants it to be her vanity project now. I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
This hour, The Vic Porcelli Show, brought to you by Proctor Drapery Blinds and Shutters. Proctor, spelled like doctor. ProctorDrapery.com. Talk lines are open now at 314-912-1019. You're listening to The Vic Porcelli Show.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies close.
On News Talk STL.
Tony Soprano's favorite song, Smoke on the Water. All right, we have Mark Harder coming up in just a bit. First, Ken, I meant to tell you this earlier in the show. Caitlin Clark, you know I love her.
Yeah.
Right? Great basketball player, scorer. She now leads the WNBA in assists, I think with 8.3 a game. She's half Italian, and she also made an announcement that she and her boyfriend are both voting for President Trump.
No.
Yes, she did.
Wow.
Now I want to marry her. Now it's not
Well,
just...
you can't because she's engaged to somebody else.
Yeah, I know.
And so are
I'm
you.
dating someone else too, by the way.
Kind of. Yeah.
But anyway, I thought that was great that because she was asking, she wanted to go on The View. She was like, why would I go on that show? All I did was yell and scream. And I was like, that's an interesting thing for her to say.
Very, yeah.
And now she's a Trump supporter.
And she's in the middle of the left. I mean, right now she plays on a daily basis in front of a lot of people on the left. But I think maybe that could be turning. You know, we don't know.
We got to be too big to rig.
Yep.
All right, all rise.
From the county of St. Louis.
Crime issues, economic development.
This is Mark Harder.
Hi, Mark Harder.
Hey, guys.
From the St. Louis County Council. All right, so this may take up our entire conversation, but what in the hell is going on at the St. Louis County Council? I'm not even going to interject. Start from the beginning with the judge.
Wow, where you start? Yeah, my wife asked the same question. Excuse me. So what happened? Let's see. This is Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Monday, I get a call from Dennis Hancock, one of my colleagues on the council.
Very conservative guy.
Right. And he says that our attorney for the county, her name is Dana Redwing, called him and said that she is filing what's called and I'll probably say this wrong, quo rantro proceeding against him with Wesley Bell to have him removed from the council because she heard that he is hiring his stepdaughter to be his assistant. And so Dennis called me about this, and I said, we got to get to the bottom of it, whatever. Meantime, the train left the station. She got Wesley Bell and a judge to issue this statement or this proceeding. She proceeded to have his security badge cut off, his email cut off. All of this in the last 48 hours, but at that time it was 24 hours, and told everybody else on the council this, but did not send any kind of paperwork to Dennis or to have him served. And so
no due process
no
at
due
all.
process, right. He calls his attorney. His attorney represents him over to the courts, and they start arguing about this. This is going on yesterday. We're scheduled to have a council meeting at 3:00 yesterday. We needed his vote, and his vote is on whether the council should have our own legal person. Okay.
Can I ask you a quick?
Sure.
Mark, is it illegal to have a relative working for you?
Well, under state law, there's a nepotism law that says you can't hire, elected official can't hire or appoint someone of a certain familiar relationship, and they spell it out in a job, a government job.
How did Cory Bush get away with it?
Okay. That's a good question. And other people. So, so that's how that came down. So while this is going on, let's go back a little bit. While this is going on, he's in court trying to get his status put back, and so that he can vote and get everything put back together. We go ahead with our meeting. So all this drama is like one of these, Tom Cruise movies at the end. So we're in the middle of our meeting. We need his vote so that we can get our own attorney, who basically was against getting our own attorney, who filed against him. He's waiting on the Zoom camera. We're about 10 minutes into the meeting. The county people are trying to kind of stall a little bit because we're waiting for the report to come back from the judge. So I look over in the corner and I see Hancock's attorney come in, and she's got a piece of paper, takes it up to the chair, and they read it. And basically he got reinstated by another judge so he could vote last night at our meeting.
All right. So
he's back as councilman.
I want to back up just a little bit.
All this happened in 24 hours.
So a judge took him off the county council.
Correct.
One has to believe Sam Page was behind this, right? Okay. And then another judge reinstates him on the county council. So my question is, how do we go back and say, even though it happened so long ago, Sam Page, you were still a doctor while you were the county executive, and the charter clearly states you have to dedicate all of your time to that position. Is he just exempt from laws? Does he not think that me and a million other people remembered that he did that?
Right. No, and he used through his attorneys and other people, he used that against us at that time. He manipulated the system in St. Louis County, in my opinion, because I was part of that whole deal. And we went around for a year trying to remove him because of that issue. And we wound up changing our charter to make it clearer that we could remove him. And then that's when he quit his second job.
But he did it for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Violated the charter.
Yes.
I don't know what the state constitution says about that, or if it even
it doesn't
is
cover
relevant.
it. It's a charter violation for
But it's a charter violation? is
Well,
what
he
I'm-
is a Democrat, though, Vic.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
So this has all happened in the last 24 hours. So the good thing is that we were able to vote on this change to our charter. We had to get it. That was the other part of this. It had to get over to the election board by 5:00 last night. So we voted on it. Shalonda signed it. We got it over there by 5:00. So it will be on the ballot for November, so that we can get our own attorney for the council, because we're tired of this attorney that's part of St. Louis County's legal department. She's the head of the department. She was appointed by Page. She needs to go, in my opinion. And that whole department needs a full revamp because they're not representing our interests. And some of the people that are in that department are still in that department that did not, in my opinion, represent us well when we had the fight over leadership between Rita Days and myself over being chair and vice chair, and that whole issue, which we had to go to court to, and a judge saw it our way, over and above some of the information that was given to us by our legal staff. So we need a lot of house cleaning in St. Louis County, and it needs to happen fairly quickly.
Yeah, I think you do, because you call it lawfare or legislating from the bench, whatever you want to call it. That's exactly what's going on there. These people are making policy almost by just, using lawfare,
which seems like a bigger violation than Dennis Hancock hiring his daughter.
Right.
And he never did hire her. I mean, they never filled out paperwork, never got a W-2. I mean, it was basically.
So he just thought about it?
He thought about it, had her come into the office, and maybe you need to have him on the show to explain it, but there was never any paperwork filled out for that. He was considering hiring her. So,
she never worked a day.
She never got paid. So
unbelievable.
She helped out. But this whole thing is I hate to use the word trumped up, but it was trumped up from the beginning, in my opinion, because it moved pretty fast, and our legal department doesn't move fast at all. Yeah. And this all came together in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's wild, because you complained about that before, about how slow it ran.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're painfully slow.
So Dennis voted on Zoom, right?
Right.
Here's one thing I'm shocked about, that he had to, because you have to be, correct me if I'm wrong, we have to be able to see their face on the screen for them to vote, right?
Right.
Didn't that happen to you?
Yeah.
Where you weren't, your face wasn't there
well,
yet?
We have technical issues that kept bouncing in and out. They could hear me, but they couldn't see me.
But they have to see you for you to be able to vote on Zoom. I'm surprised it wasn't a technical difficulty.
Yeah.
That would have added more to the drama. That's for sure. But no, it was a very drama-filled day yesterday to get this thing all done, and the scramble that had to go on in this whole thing. So,
Vic, I guess they didn't think about that.
Think about what?
Well, I guess the left didn't think about doing that. They did. Oh man,
so I just gave them the
well,
idea.
they just
Sorry.
They just forgot about due process is what happened. So him not being served, I'm sure, was a big part of the other judge's opinion about whether it was done lawfully from the beginning. So in their haste to get rid of him, they screwed up.
All right. So anything undramatic happened at the meeting?
Wow. No, not really. We've got the Vic Porcelli ribbon cutting tomorrow for the new highway, Baxter Road. So if anybody is in that area, stop by.
Baxter and Holloway?
Baxter and Holloway at 10 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to be there. We're going to stretch a big piece of red ribbon across the road and give it a cut and say whoopee. And
so listen, hold on. So
go from there.
I have failed to give, credit where credit is due. Baxter Road looks great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I bitched about it for, I can't tell you how long.
Sure.
It looks great from Clayton all the way down to Manchester.
Right. No, it's nice and smooth. And now we have a bike lane or a bike path that you can walk, you can run, you can ride your bikes, you can push a baby carriage, whatever you want to do on it, and still be in that corridor and get from north to south.
I don't know if we talked about this, Mark, or not last week, but I don't know if that project was part of putting the traffic light at, they call it Anderson Road, which goes right by Deerberg's there at Manchester. Mm-hmm. So there's this traffic light. And if you're coming down Baxter Road, when I say down south towards Manchester Road, and you're in the left lane, before this new traffic light was there, it was just a green light, which means what? Yield if you want to make a left to anybody coming straight at you, right?
Oh, yeah.
So now they put this new thing in with an arrow that never turns green. All it does is flash yellow, which is the same message as just a green light.
Yeah.
Yield to people coming at you.
I don't know. And that directional has always been there. I think they just probably changed the lenses or something. I don't know what they did there.
Wait. You're saying that arrow was always there?
There's been a traffic light there at that intersection.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But it was just an old-fashioned, 3 lights, no arrow, not even
I'll
a
take your
space
word
for
for
an
it.
arrow.
I'll take your word for it.
So if it's a green arrow, am I wrong? If it's green,
No,
if you
no.
have a green light and you're making a left, you got to wait for everybody to come this way, yield
Yes.
to traffic.
Yes.
That's if it's a green light. If it's a flashing yellow, it's the same rule.
Maybe they just want to be clear.
It's a new European rules.
It's a more specific rule.
So we got that going on.
like
So
it.
that's tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So
Thank
anybody
you. Give
come on
us
by,
a call from there if
see-
you could.
Yeah, we can do that.
Where's the sign going to be? The Vic Porcelli
Oh
roadway.
shoot, I forgot to order.
Yeah,
that.
see?
Oh,
See?
you were
I know. I
Ken, you were supposed to remind me.
I dropped the ball.
You were
I'll
on
tell you what,
vacation.
I'll forfeit having my name on the road if somebody can untangle this thing.
Hey, I've got some cardboard in my
Don't you
garage.
cuss on this here radio.
Sorry.
The look on your face.
We'll get some cardboard. We'll write.
No, I don't want your charity. I don't want your cardboard magic marker charity. Forget about it.
We'll take a picture of it. It'll be on the website.
It will be.
Mark, thank you so much. And keep giving them hell, man. And tell Dennis
Yeah.
to come in. Tell Dennis the calls to come in. We got to
Yeah,
find out
no,
what
we got to get
and
him on.
why can't we go after Sam Page for all the work he did, being a doctor and being the county executive at the same time, which is against the charter rules?
Yeah, well, and that's might be some of the motivation here because Dennis has been bringing up this issue that we're hearing rumors that Sam Page is working at St. Louis University Hospital now. And so if anybody works at St. Louis University Hospital and has seen him, call in the show and let's talk about it. But that's the rumor we're hearing. And Dennis brought this up in a public meeting. And I think that might be some of the motivation here. Who knows?
There is less catty stuff going on in a junior high homeroom with a bunch of mean girls in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like a middle school lunchroom.
Exactly right. All right. Mark Harder, St. Louis County Council. Thank you, sir. Kenny?
Hey, Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick Pogue just said, want to let you both know our new drink menus at, are ending printed soon and will be permanently include Vic Porcelli's Thunder Stealer cocktail, inversion vodka, Red Bull, and 3 optional flavors.
Perfect.
Mm.
See, you bitch enough, you
Johnny's
get your
Hideout.
way.
Johnny's Hideout is exclusively where you get it.
Rick is the best, absolutely. Because they got the speaker of the house table at Johnny's Hideout.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, well, what about us? So we got the Thunder Stealer drink named after Ken. It actually should be the Ken Williams Thunder Stealer drink.
No, it's Vic Porcelli Show.
Why can't you get a Vic Porcelli table?
I'll take the drink.
Oh, okay.
It's vodka and Red Bull, my favorite drink.
Yeah.
Kenny, great to have you back, baby.
Great to be back. And I just want to say thanks to the listeners for even giving me messages while I was off, too. I kind of grabbed those once in a while. It was awesome.
All right, no more. He's back. Stop it now. Thank you so much for having the record player on at night to listen to us this morning.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Both guys got that in while you were gone, by the way.
Awesome.
Yeah. Dan Bongino is next on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, number 1 for live and local conservative talk.
Woosh, whoosh. Parents want more choices rather than fewer when it comes to their children's education. And now some Missouri parents will have one more option to get their children the best education available. Low-income students and those with disabilities in Missouri's largest communities can now apply for an Empowerment Scholarship Account, or ESA. With an ESA, the money the state would normally pay to your child's public school goes into an account that you control. You can use the funds for private school tuition, online learning programs, a private tutor, or other approved uses. You can tailor your child's education. For too long, Missouri officials have operated on the mistaken notion that parents only need one choice. They're assigned public school based on their address. ESAs put parents in charge. It's school choice at its best, with money following the students to the place that best fits their needs. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. This Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Attention, fellow conservative investors. What does the name Reagan mean to you? It stands for being the ultimate conservative. It also stands for the Reagan Gold Group. Do you see storm clouds approaching? The stock market hates uncertainty, and there are plenty of reasons to be concerned. High inflation, unstable debt, and economic uncertainty are just a few. You have car insurance, homeowners insurance, and life insurance. But do you have insurance for your retirement savings and your 401k? 401k? We urge all fellow conservative investors to learn about the one asset that could help ensure your nest egg doesn't crack under economic pressure. GOLD, gold. Call the one name any conservative investor needs to know about. Reagan Gold Group.
800-251-7963. 800-251-7963. 800-251-7963. That's 800-251-7963.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. With the unofficial end of summer looming, lots of Americans are taking that final holiday trip. Correspondent Julie Walker reports on Labor Day travel.
This Labor Day weekend, AAA spokeswoman Aixa Diaz says travel is up 9% from last year, and the TSA is expecting a record-breaking weekend.
We have seen record demand for travel in 2023 and so far in 2024. So the airports have been ready because they've known what to expect.
And she says drivers can expect lower prices at the pump.
You're not paying quite as much as you were even earlier this summer or compared to last Labor Day weekend.
Diaz recommends drivers hit the road earlier in the day, and flyers have a plan in case there are issues. I'm Julie Walker.
Also at townhall.com, Israel launching a major military operation in the occupied West Bank that has killed at least 10 Hamas terrorists. Israel said the operation is aimed at preventing attacks on Israeli civilians. Meanwhile, there is no sign of a breakthrough after days of ceasefire talks in Egypt, and the negotiations move to Qatar this week. Kamala Harris will be sitting for a network interview for the first time since launching her presidential campaign.
It's been more than 5 weeks since Harris began her White House bid, and she has yet to hold a news conference or grant an interview with a news outlet. The drought will end on Thursday when she and running mate Tim Walz sit down with CNN. The Trump campaign reacted to the news by noting it's a joint interview, saying she's not competent enough to do it on her own.
White House correspondent Greg Cluxton says the interview will air on CNN at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. Stocks are lower, the Dow dropping 115 points and the NASDAQ composite 200 points in the red. More at townhall.com.
Americans now have more credit card debt than at any time in history, owing a staggering $1.3 trillion collectively. What happens when most people can't pay their bills? Well, the U.S. economy is clearly moving into uncertain territory. That's why more Christians are turning to gold just for their peace of mind. I'm Lance Wallnow, Christian news analyst with a 30-year track record of predicting trends. The Bible tells us that gold is a time-tested store of value that can protect your God-given assets through almost anything, including America's historic debt bubble. And here's the good news. You can own gold for your 401k or IRA. My friends at Birch Gold Group can help you buy gold for your retirement account, tax-free and penalty-free. To learn more, text the word faith to 989898 for an info kit from Birch Gold that's entirely free, zero cost or obligation. Text that next step right now and take it. Text faith to the number 989898 for your free info kit. That's faith to 989898.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
This hot and humid summer pattern still locked in, but scattered storms will help provide relief in spots today. No severe storms with this morning's spotty rain. Happy about that. But there could be a stronger cell or two among the storms this afternoon. And in between, hot and humid again. Up to 95 this afternoon. Heat index between 100 and 104. Partly cloudy tonight, down to 76. And then we're hot again Thursday as temps jump to 97. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Senior Memorial. With the average funeral bill being over $9,000, are your loved ones prepared? Call 314-866-8886 or memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Capriotti's, St. Louis's newest and best sandwich shop. Capriotti's menu doesn't stop. You won't have one favorite. You'll have many. For me, the lineup includes the hand-pulled homemade turkey, the Italian, the chicken parmesan, and the list goes on. Even the fries at Capriotti's are next level. Check them out and let me know how your list of favorites is shaping up. Capriotti's Sandwich Shop is open from 9 to 9, 7 days a week at the corner of Manchester and McKnight in Rock Hill. Get more details, including how to impress at your next event with their great catering at capriottis.com.
Getting new flooring can be exciting, or it can be a hassle.
To make sure you have a great experience, use Michael's Flooring, like I did. Hi, it's Susie Moore, and Michael's Flooring has become my go-to for quality, variety, and an all-around great experience. They've been locally owned and operated for more than 30 years. Carpet, hardwood, laminate, ceramic tile, natural stone, luxury vinyl, it doesn't matter. Michael's Flooring is ready to help. 3 locations to pick from: St. Peter's, Darting Prairie, and Creve Coeur, or online at igotfloor.com. That's igotfloor.com.
Does your life insurance plan include living benefits, hearing, diabetic supplies, teledoc service, discounts on urns, caskets, tombstones? Larry Connors here. I suggest you call Benjamin Schaefer at Senior Memorial. Call 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on NewstalkSTL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
News, analysis, opinion.
The Democrats have been in charge of the country for 12 of the last 16 years.
This is about facts over fantasy. It's about record over rhetoric.
This is 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
From the NYPD to the Secret Service to behind the microphone, taking the fight to the radical left and the putrid swamp. You're listening to the Dan Bongino Show. Here he is, Dan Bongino.
Oh, boy, we are. Jim, we're not supposed to talk about this stuff on the air, I know, but I don't care. Whatever rules there are, we like to break them anyway. But so we're moving into a new studio soon. It's almost done. We're really at the tail end this time, and we're just waiting on the construction and the CO to get in there. But man, this studio here, because we've been working and kind of jerry-rigging stuff for so long to get it to work. Every day it's like, does that work? No, can I hear you? I mean, you understand, like the show goes live at 12:05 and 31 seconds. That's it. Like there's no, or else Jim's going to have to talk to you. And what, Jim? 12:05 and 17 seconds. We're like, is this thing on? It was like that old commercial. And Guy and Justin finally figured out, like, yeah, just press like this button or something. And like hit it with a hammer. And I was like, yes, it works. We can hear it. We can hear it. Justin came over and kicked it. When he did like one of these like old school, like Mr. Miyagi, whatever, crane kicks on the thing. And it was like, wow, look, it works. But we're here, thankfully. Listen, I got a show for you today. Oh, you always said it. Well, we always have a show. No, I mean it. Jim, you heard the podcast, right? So you kind of know. Was that you did. You did get to participate. I had him text me during the show. Folks, I got some really, let's transition to serious time because this is a very serious story. The Butler County, Pennsylvania assassination attempt on Donald Trump and the murder scene, we should never forget that, is the most significant political story of our time. I'm going to say this now until we get some final answers on it. I'm not letting the story go. I have zero intentions of letting the story go. Unfortunately, if Donald Trump, fortunately he got out of there, but unfortunately for us, the security failures, if Donald Trump had his head blown up on live television instead of just being shot in the ear, American political history would have been changed in a manner folks don't even want to get into on the air. It could have been it's already a disaster. A guy was murdered there. But I can't even describe to you how bad things would have gotten. I'm not talking about street violence. I'm just talking about, you think there's no distrust in the system now? I'm not sure we can even grasp it, because thankfully the counterfactual in this case, we can't prove like what would have happened if this, well, thankfully it didn't. I'm just saying to you, it would have been the most significant act of political violence in American history and could have changed everything. Yet we're not even 2 months out. And Jim, wouldn't you agree? Like, the story's just completely disappeared into the phantom zone. I'm outside of conservative media. No disrespect for my my fellow hosts. They've been great on this. CNN, MSNBC, New York Post, Washington Post. You'll see an occasional piece on it. But outside of that, everybody's acting like nothing happened. You know, and why is that a big deal outside of the fact that I believe that them trying to disappear this case is politically motivated, because Donald Trump was screaming, fight, fight, and it made him look like a warrior. And well, we don't want to talk about that. But there's another reason it's really damaging outside of the broken trust in the media. And the other reason it's extremely damaging is now there's almost no pressure on the Secret Service to change anything. It's only coming from the conservative right. That's it. Josh Hawley, Ron Johnson, Jim Jordan, Ted Cruz, others who are asking questions. There's almost nobody on the left asking these questions. Because again, yeah, exactly. Jim said it right. The deeply disturbing part of that is, as I've said often, this affects them too. I was on the detail for a Republican and Democrat president, Bush and Obama. I did not do my job any different. Never even occurred to me to do my job any different. So I don't, again, speak with forked tongue here. I speak from experience. Yet it's incredible how few people in Congress or the Senate on the Democrat side seem even remotely interested in the big questions we still don't have answered. Who was this kid working with, if anyone? How did he build these complex explosives? Why was the roof washed so immediately from the blood and when it was a crime scene? Why was the kid's body released before a final autopsy? Why the rush to make this case go away? Why no press conferences? Why isn't the FBI talking? Why don't we have metadata on this kid? Why haven't we seen these social media pictures? We've seen zero interviews. You don't find it odd? CNN is not out at the kids' grammar school going, hey, man, did you know him growing up? You know, if, God forbid, he would have attacked a Democrat, every interview on planet Earth would have been conducted with the guy who delivered the kid's newspaper when he was 6. I'm not letting the story go away, and I have some new information for you. Media people, you ready? The greatest broadcaster ever, the king, Rush Limbaugh, used to say, let your show prep begin. I will never be a Rush Limbaugh. But if I may borrow his line and heavily footnoted, media people. I'm not talking about the conservatives. You guys are all over this. I'm talking about the media goons on the left. Get your pens out. I'm going to let you in on a little not so secret. By the way, if you hear sounds in the background, folks, I don't want you to think anything weird's going on. There's a really wicked thunderstorm outside of the studio. So if you hear some thunder, yeah, it's really coming down. I mean, it is like a sheet of water. So don't be disturbed. There is not, it's not some like nuclear war starting or anything. I have been conducting an investigation myself. I have been out of the investigative space for a long time. I left the Secret Service in the federal investigative realm back in 2011, but I never forgot those skills. And I've done this before with other things, but never with anything as significant. And I've been conducting an investigation the way anyone would do it. It's not, of course, an official one. I'm not an agent. I'm a investigative, I don't want to say journalist because that word, but I report on things. And I've been conducting numerous interviews, and a lot of whistleblowers have come to me. A lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. Retired folks, people who were there, people who know people who were there in Butler, active folks, a lot of people who are very upset about the way the Secret Service is run. And I'm ready to disclose some things I haven't disclosed in the past. So let's get to them first. There's a couple of points I'd like to make today. The first one, folks, after numerous interviews with numerous people, I have now come to the firm conclusion, and media people, you should probably be very concerned about this, that there is a very detailed, long, multi-year paper trail where security professionals around Donald Trump have repeatedly requested numerous security enhancements, both at Mar-a-Lago and around President Trump when he's home and when he travels, that have been denied. Now, you may say, well, Dan, that's nothing new. You and others have already reported that. Here's what is new. Folks, this paper trail is not going to be able to be, let's just say, disappeared. We know we had a disappearing paper trail on January 6th, correct? We did? Yes, we did. If you're home and you're bored and you're a first-time listener to the show, go to your phone, pop up your favorite search engine, and put United States Secret Service January 6th text emails. I'll give you a second. Okay, you see it. January 6th, the alleged insurrection. The Secret Service says they have no texts and emails from that day, that they all disappeared in a data migration. That's it. Wow. Jim, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Like data migration on January 6th. Strange? A little bit? A little bit. A little bit. A little bit. Even Bobby D says something. He's not even a friend. A little bit. So, yes, the Secret Service has a history of disappearing information when it's inconvenient. The reason this paper trail can't be disappeared is that some really smart people made sure it's not gonna. And even some not so smart people, because they did things that were not so smart, made sure it's not gonna. What are you saying? Unfortunately, I can't say too much. But I can tell you this with absolute certainty. It would be nearly impossible. Nearly. I mean, I don't put anything past the swamp, okay? Let me just be clear. But I'm just telling you the hoops you would have to jump through to make this particular paper trail, and by paper, I'm using the word paper loosely. I mean digital trail too, emails, but there's paper. The things you'd have to do to make this paper trail go away of repeated, multiple requests. Danger, Will Robinson. There is danger around President Trump. Please help us. Is so long and lengthy that there is absolutely zero chance unless something insane happened that they can make this thing go away. And I'm going to tell you, it's all going to come out. And when it comes out, you're going to be quite happy you listened to this show and we're 6 months ahead of the news cycle. Because the heat is totally off the Secret Service leadership right now. Everybody's kind of moved on, and the same people that made poor decisions about security assets and technology leading to President Trump getting shot in the head are running the Secret Service right now. I'm not going to tell you changes haven't been made. Some have. After President Trump was shot in the head and a man was murdered. Because the Secret Service, sadly, has become a reactionary agency. You're going to find out one day why this paper trail can't be disappeared. And it's going to be one of the craziest plot twists you have ever heard. I promise. It can't be disappeared. And when you start to see it, and when this stuff comes out in hopefully unredacted form, I'm not talking about code names or anything like that, but there's no reason to deny this stuff to the American public or congressional overseers anymore. You're going to be stunned at the level of insanity and incompetence that I believe leads to intent that was used to withhold security from Donald Trump. I'm going to throw something else at you here. Because I told you, when I say that the whistleblowers are coming in so fast and furious that it's actually hard to keep track, because I have to tell some people I appreciate that, but I've already heard that from 5 other people. Not that it doesn't matter, but there were so many people so furious with Secret Service leadership right now and the media for phantom zoning this story that outside of me and a few others, they're not letting this go either. Someone reached out to me yesterday, a very well-placed source, and said, Dan, I listened to your congressional testimony about how you believe
the decision to withhold certain security elements from Donald Trump had to be political. And I believe that. You can deny it all you want. I believe the evidence is overwhelming. I believe they did not want to make Donald Trump look presidential with a more enhanced, vigorous security package. And I believe they wanted to starve him of some security assets and make him spend his own money, even though they're legally obligated, according to 18 USC 3056, to protect the former president. It's not a choice. And I told you a while ago that the Secret Service political folks, what do you mean political? They're people dominated by politics and not security, told specific folks down at Mar-a-Lago when they asked for security enhancements, they said, hey, we need more. And they said, we don't secure social clubs. Really? Jim, on the podcast, we pulled up 18 USC 3056. Do you recall seeing anything about a social club, nightclub exemption? You did not. You did not. Either did I. It was shocking. I thought that was in there. It isn't. Turns out when the United States Code that directs the Secret Service to protect said people, president, vice president, former president, doesn't say anything except if they're at a social club. It doesn't say that. It doesn't really say. So why would you say that? You would say that because you wanted to insult President Trump and withhold security assets, correct? So this well-placed source reached out to me, and he said, let me tell you something. When I went through training, David Duke of the Ku Klux Klan was considering, was he associated with it or whatever was going on? I'm not really, intimately familiar with this. Is from and he says he was thinking about running for president. And he asked someone in a class, asked the question. This is from this source. And he says, well, we have to protect him too. And the instructor correctly said, we don't get into their political ideology. It's just our job to keep them alive. That was the motto. That was the credo. That was what we lived by. You select them, we protect them. That was it. He was very disturbed that the politics, for the first time in the history of the Secret Service we both knew, may have interfered with security decisions and got someone killed and Donald Trump shot in the head. More coming up next. We'll be right back. Bongino. If you're looking for a firearm, I wholeheartedly recommend Henry Repeating Arms. They make 200 models of rifles, shotguns, and revolvers in a wide variety of calibers and finishes. Plus, they have new releases throughout the year. And trust me, folks, you just can't beat their quality. The best way to learn about Henry Firearms is to order their free catalog to check out their line at home. Plus, you'll get 2 free decals, a list of dealers in your area, and a great newsletter. Just go to henryusa.com and click on the free catalog button in the top right corner. Henry Repeating Arms uses old world craftsmanship combined with cutting edge technology to deliver reliability and accuracy you can trust. They're easy to use and maintain, making them an excellent choice for personal and property defense, hunting, and the shooting sports and beginners. And they're made in America or they won't be made at all. Remember to order their free catalog and decals at henryusa.com. Just go to henryusa.com and click on the free catalog button in the top right corner. That's henryusa.com and click on the free catalog button in the top right corner. You're going to love this company.
Dan Bongino.
What happens next? Joe Biden drops out of the 2024 presidential race. Happens right here.
If you claim to stand for unity, you need to do more than just use the word.
I'm never going to drop out, and now I'm dropping out.
I'd vote for Kamala.
With 29 days until they have to make a decision on a nominee.
America Decides 2024.
She is unfit and unqualified to be our president and commander-in-chief.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
I don't think Kamala has a chance to beat Trump.
News Talk STL.
Tim Jones here with Dr. Pat Fader of Comprehensive Chiropractic. Doc, I hear you all have a new treatment program for everyone's chronic knee pain.
Tim, that's right. We are helping patients with chronic knee pain by addressing the root cause of their condition.
And what makes your program so unique?
Well, Tim, many programs focus on just one component of the problem, the structural component. Our program focuses on the metabolic and neurological component to complete the picture and improve our patients' outcomes. We get to the root cause of what is driving inflammation in a person's body and address it directly.
For your chronic knee pain and more, visit cchiropractic.com. All information, make an appointment at cchiropractic.com.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Jim Talent, former U.S. Senator.
They have no understanding of who they're dealing with. We already have the biggest war in the Middle East, and it's about to get bigger. I think an attack is imminent. I'd say it's going to come from 4 different directions. There's going to be a lot more missiles against a lot more targets. quite possibly including American forces, and from a lot shorter range, and therefore much harder to intercept.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps, weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Attention thrill seekers and fun lovers. Did you know the Midwest's largest wooden roller rink is right here in Missouri? Welcome to Piccadilly Palace, your ultimate family entertainment destination. Glide across our massive skating floor, conquer arcade challenges, put your way through mini golf, and dive into cutting-edge virtual reality experiences. And coming soon, a relaxing bar and grill patio, state-of-the-art golf simulators, and heart-pounding 2-story go-kart racing next to East Central College in Union, Missouri. Plan your visit now at PiccadillyPalace.com. That's PiccadillyPalace.com.
News Talk STL is proud to have Doug Voss of Safe Money Radio as part of our lineup each week. Doug has been a staple on St. Louis radio for many years as one of the leading financial experts in the area. Doug and Safe Money Radio is on 3 times every weekend, but in case you miss anything, you can check it all out at DougVossSafeMoneyRadio.com or call 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DHL Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Hey, it's First Alert Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton from Channel 4, and we are proud to be the official weather source for News Talk STL. Just like you've grown to expect from us at Channel 4, you can expect the same accurate, detailed, and timely weather coverage from News Talk STL. The First Alert weather team will keep you ahead of the big weather changes. And the one thing you can count on in St. Louis, the weather is constantly changing. So Channel 4 and News Talk STL are committed to keeping you up to date and safe.
News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
Finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You can handle the truth. The Dan Bongino Show.
So here's the problem I'm having, which we're going to dig into in this segment, the next segment, the remainder of this hour, with some just really troubling new information I've uncovered in my personal investigation into the Secret Service failures in Butler County, Pennsylvania. Folks, again, one of the kind of adages that guided the Secret Service through a bunch of troubled times was, you select them, we protect them, right? It doesn't matter to them who you pick. They can have their individual personal views, but if voters select at the Democrat National Convention the most evil human being on earth, well, that may not be a hypothetical. The Secret Service agents there do not go, I'm not going to do my job there. That's not how it works. I am a hardcore conservative activist who protected both President Bush and Obama and didn't do my job any different. That's not what we do here. Your job is security. If you can't do it, leave and do something else. If you say my politics are going to blind me to keeping these people alive, please leave the job. It's not for you. I'm telling you, I have done a really, really thorough investigation of what happened and have spoken now to multiple people. And I have drawn a pretty firm conclusion that the only explanation for withholding security assets repeatedly over multiple years to one Donald J. Trump is politics. There's no other explanation other than pure stupidity. And these people in charge, I know well, are not stupid. More next.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
A lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because Medishare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
Dan Bongino.
Are you?
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. CNN will interview Vice President Harris this week. Harris has been criticized for not holding news conferences or granting interviews with news outlets since she announced her campaign more than a month ago. She and VP Tim Walz will sit down with Dana Bash in Savannah, Georgia on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Israel launching a major military operation in the occupied West Bank that has killed at least 10 Hamas terrorists. Israel said that operation is aimed at preventing attacks on Israeli civilians. Delta providing few details about a tire explosion at a maintenance facility on Tuesday. It killed 2 people. The Dow is down 215 points, the NASDAQ losing 220. This is SRN News.
Americans now have more credit card debt than at any time in history, owing a staggering $1.3 trillion collectively. What happens when most people can't pay their bills? Well, the U.S. economy is clearly moving into uncertain territory. That's why more Christians are turning to gold just for their peace of mind. I'm Lance Wallnow, Christian news analyst with a 30-year track record of predicting trends. The Bible tells us that gold is a time-tested store of value that can protect your God-given assets through almost anything, including America's historic debt bubble. And here's the good news. You can own gold through your 401k or IRA. My friends at Birch Gold Group can help you buy gold for your retirement account, tax-free and penalty-free. To learn more, text the word faith to 989898 for an info kit from Birch Gold that's entirely free, zero cost or obligation. Text that next step right now and take it. Text faith to the number 989898 for your free info kit. That's faith to 989898.
Talk radio made in St. Louis for St. Louis. This is News Talk STL.
Our responsibility.
News, analysis, and opinion.
To provide updated guidance.
At 1019, 94.1, and NewstalkSTL.com.
Seavers JCB is where you need to go for the industry's best compact track loaders, featuring the iconic single-arm JCB power boom and side door entry. JCB compact track loaders are stronger and safer than conventional twin-arm machines, and they deliver the power and performance you need. For a limited time, get financing rates as low as 0.99% on new JCB compact track loaders, or take a generous cash incentive. Stop into your local Seavers JCB or visit SeaversJCB.com.
For over half a century, Joe Bacardi's has been serving up a little taste of Italy right here in St. Louis. Family owned since 1971, we're more than just a restaurant. We're a local landmark. With 4 convenient locations, we offer something for everyone, from our famous pizzas to mouth-watering entrees and delicious salads. Dine in with a glass of wine or grab a quick carryout. Whether it's dinner for 2 or catering for a crowd, Joe Bacardi's has you covered. Visit joebacardis.com and join our loyalty program. Joe Bacardi's, where every meal ends with buon appetito.
Hello, this is Mark Schmitz, Gold Star father of U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. Jared, along with 12 other U.S. military personnel, were killed August 26, 2021 at Abbey Gate in Kabul, Afghanistan. In honor of the 13, I would like for you and every American-loving patriot to join me and my family on the Angels of Abbey Gate Memorial Ride and Shootout, Saturday, September 7th. For details and to pre-register, go to thefreedom13.org. All vehicles are welcome. We look forward to seeing you.
Colombo and Company.
The most popular booth at the Minnesota State Fair this week is the one giving away Never Tim Walz merch. That's a real thing, and it's real funny. We'll talk about it Wednesday, plus Rodney Boyd and Closest Cabinet.
Live and local, weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL. News, analysis, opinion. News Talk STL.
Any questions? Call 8444-the-USA to get the answers. 844-484-3872. The Dan Bongino Show.
That was hard for me to say in that last segment. Hard. I don't mean hard and physically to verbalize it. It was hard for me to say because the content of it was so disturbing, given that I did this for a living, and these political concerns never interfered with my ability, nor anyone I knew's ability, to protect someone's life in the Secret Service, ever. But just, I can only hear out so many well-placed whistleblowers and the Secret Service's current management's efforts to stop them before I come to the conclusion that if what I was saying was ridiculous, they would just let me say it because I'd be exposing myself as a fool, correct? Oh, let him talk. It's moronic what he's saying. It's a conspiracy theory. But the Secret Service management is terrified of people talking to me, blowing the whistle, and to conservative members of Congress. Terrified. Because they want to hide a glaringly obvious abnormality in Donald Trump's protection model that it was largely guided by politics. It had to be. Or else you're going to acknowledge, you would have to acknowledge you know nothing about security and you're just ignorant. I'm going to prove to you now. You ready? Again, media folks, get your pens out. That these decisions were either political, which is the most logical, Occam's razor-wise, or based on such a profound level of ignorance that they're unexplainable, given that the people in charge I know personally are not stupid. You can't tell me, oh, they're just dumb. I know them personally, like really well. Went out with them for dinners, been on the road with them, spent years on protection assignments. These are not stupid people. So let's wipe that out. Why was Donald Trump's team not given security? Let me give you an analogy here. And it may be a little misplaced, but it's the only way I know to explain it, so forgive me. It's the fire suppression guys versus firemen, okay? What does that have to do with protection? Bear with me for a second. You have these fire suppression specialists. They'll go out in a forest, clear the brush, do controlled burns. The idea is